Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
C-word?
That's how we went on the air. Sorry, I should have given a heads up. This is the EST Hangout live on Edmonton Sports Talk, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. And Tommy, why would you say such a thing to start the show?
I didn't say anything. Good morning.
Coaching. I meant coaching.
That's right.
Joining us today,
Two legends.
two legends, two amazing people from the Edmonton Riverhawks. So we got Graham Neil, Donovan Workun. You may remember them or know of them. Well, at least one by face, one by voice.
Both by face.
At
And
the Riverhawks games.
Oh, at the games. Okay.
Yeah, like unless like you're running around. I don't know. Do they have shots? Actually, they do have shots of you every so often.
Camera there.
They do. So yeah, by face and by voice. You might know both of these two individuals who are here after yet another wonderful season with the Edmonton Riverhawks.
What a wonderful season. It was.
How much credit do you guys take for
100%
getting to the playoffs?
100%.
We can't take all the credit. I'd say 99%.
Yeah, maybe low 90s. Come on. Those players are fantastic. They played really hard this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I actually don't have time to watch the games, so I have no idea what's going on.
You are a busy boy.
Yeah,
The far bar
every game.
all the time.
Yeah.
Our job starts at the net back, so I don't know. Graham's watching
Is it the net?
the net. Yeah. Whatever that is. I don't even know what baseball is. Graham watches the game because he has to, but I don't. I can't. I'm just more interested in ice cream and hot dogs.
Yeah. That was well put.
Yeah.
Go-to toppings for a hot dog.
I like them all. I like raw onions and ketchup mustard.
Yeah,
That's my go.
good call.
If I can, a little relish sometimes, but not
Cheese.
always, because I like to taste that wiener. That pork.
Tube steak.
Yeah.
The pork missile.
That's right.
Glizzy.
The glizzy.
The
That's the
glizzy.
one thing that I learned the most. That's the thing I learned about baseball working with the Riverhawks is the term glizzy. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, people are learning that one.
That's the one thing you learned.
The only thing I learned. The hot dog is called a glizzy.
Yeah. It's funny, and I don't want to take the time of the interview sort of because we're the interviewees, but Donovan, why are you at the Riverhawks? Because I know you from your work release program.
That's right.
Corrections Canada.
Yeah.
You came and shadowed me.
Yeah, I had the ankle bracelet, the whole deal.
That's where
Yeah.
we first
I feel
met.
like Hogle's name's going to come up here right away.
Why? Yeah, maybe. But why are you at the River?
Well, Steve Hogle.
Yeah.
There it is. We got it in there. Why? Because of Steve Hogle, and we went to. He was looking for a host of some kind, and I went down and I was like, "This is an amazing. This venue is beautiful. Mm-hmm. You're sitting in the river valley. I just want to sit here and drink beer and be entertained." And I thought, well, since I can't just sit here and drink beer every day, I want to get involved. And Steve Hogle has what they call the passion.
Yes.
And it's, contagious. So I was like, I will do whatever I can to help you because I think this is the greatest idea ever to make baseball fun. So
And I think a lot of people would be surprised, Donovan, that you have a background in comedy.
yeah, I know it is shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like background, I've skirted comedy my entire life.
Yeah.
That's what I've done professionally since 1990. And, I make City my home, Edmonton my home. And I care about this city. I love this city. That's the thing, right? And when somebody has a passion to make something in this city better, I'm like, how can I help you? Mm-hmm. And so Graham was there and Steve, and so this is what we came up with.
Well, Caster 1990 already says, Donovan, Mr. Atomic Improv, graces EST. Love his Lube City commercials.
Oh,
yeah. See, now, when I got hired for those, I thought it was a completely different company.
Yeah.
I had no idea they did oil changes.
And I was like, when you told me, I'm like, this is typecasting.
Yeah, because you know me.
Yeah. But
no, who knew? Who knew?
Yeah, you learned.
Yeah, you live, you learn, you love. Those are my pillows.
Absolutely. Just brought the wheelbarrow in, fill it up, and away you went.
That's right.
W530.
Glizzy. I get paid in glizzies.
Nice. And no, I feel like I'm an interviewer now.
Well, you started going that way. It's also kind of the profession that you come from.
But it is true, right? Like, the reason we've got involved in this is because Steve Hogle's passion, right?
It is.
And he was like, let's make a comedy show where a baseball game breaks out.
Now, can I reveal a little bit of the curtain?
Yeah.
So when it started, I, due to scheduling conflicts, was not available to be the announcer.
That's right. That is
so
correct.
a little known fact is Donovan Workun for
4 games.
4 games was the Riverhawks announcer.
Yeah,
he was in the booth and he was announcing. And how did that go?
It was terrible. I was terrible at it.
He was terrible at it. So what happened was there was a slight change around. And Donovan rightfully went down to the field.
Where I belong.
So Steve gave me a ride home from the Riverhawks game one day and said, what would it take for you to come up with it? Because Donovan and I do a lot of improv stuff together. And so it's natural. Donovan needs somebody to wind him up.
Well, and being up in the booth, I can't make any jokes.
Right. So I can basically give Donovan a ton of premises. So for instance, and it seemed like a magic trick and when we did it in the second, but to me, we were just doing what came naturally. So there'd be a break, it'd be a pitching change. And Donovan, I would always be like, put the camera on Donovan. Donovan, turn your mic on. You can hear me through your earpiece and stuff. But oftentimes I wouldn't even. I would just get on the announcing booth and say, Donovan, Riverhawks are down by 2. And they need a real rousing speech to get them going. But we want it to rhyme. And we just do improv games, right? You know what I mean? And so Donovan would look into the camera and he would, and pump the, air quote, pump the team up and stuff. And then we would just continue with, hey, look at that number 15 on the other team. Look, he's got fairly long hair. And then Donovan and I would just sort of make some comments about it in a fun and friendly way. And then we just started to kind of evolve. And Steve I worked at CTV for many years with Steve. And Steve Hogle would always say we need to be different, right? We need to push it. We need to always do it, even when I was a reporter and when Steve was and stuff. And so I followed Steve's lead. And we just naturally pushed it into basically as the game announcer. If I told you you're going to announce at the Riverhawks game, Tom, what would you feel that your number one priority would be?
Give people their information.
Correct. That is number 7 on my list, right? That is like you would say, here's who's batting. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe his position.
Maybe a stat.
Maybe a stat, number 7. On my list of checklists as I go through, that is 7. If I get the person announced, which I like to do, but it's basically so many other things. It's like, okay, well, where's Donovan? How can I make a joke with Donovan?
What game, what little contest is coming up?
What's the theme? Does Donovan have a potato sack? I'm listening to him talk about, well, I think we could get someone in the potato sack and make him run backwards and stuff. And then someone's like, someone's coming to the plate.
That was the champ.
Oh, boy. We have a controversy here because of that, by the
Donovan
way.
named that. Donovan named that contest. What'd you name that, Donovan?
I did. Was it? No, I don't know if that was me. The back sack?
The back sack.
Yeah. Because we're going backwards.
I'm the winner of the back sack. I'll take it.
Well,
I got my jar of sauerkraut in the office.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Under review. Yeah, you have the...
That's not under review. I won.
But
Donovan, he gave me the jar of
whoever
sauerkraut.
took the sauerkraut takes the prize.
Whoever was dishing out the horsies...
Not my problem.
that's
cheated and gave Matthew an unfair advantage.
That's an old Eastern European proverb, isn't it?
It is. He who holds the sauerkraut wins the prize. Always.
But not to make a love-in for Steve, but we all know Steve Hogle. But Steve basically...
He's great.
But this was his idea.
What's Steve's title on his door? Because I didn't notice it until this year. Did you notice it?
Did it say janitor?
No, that's right.
Because that's the office. Is that the office he's in?
His.
Or was it restroom?
That's a well-paid janitor.
Stinky, and there's a wet mop in there. By choice. Like, he could have cleaned it up, but I think he's like the manager of...
General manager.
General manager.
He's the general manager.
Of fun, though.
Oh,
it says,
is that right?
Fun.
I think you just wrote that
No, it says that on his...
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's not a real job.
It is.
Really?
Well, it's his job.
Not a real job.
I don't think...
But honestly, Steve, none of this, you could easily, hey, you're the GM of the team. You could easily say, yeah, you know what, we're going to, I mean, these baseball players, Donovan, if you were to turn around, they're fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few of them got drafted into the major leagues. And then, I played, in
here we
China,
go.
Mosquito A.
You played in what?
I did. And so, I'm censoring all that stuff. So, but they're great. It's great baseball, and we know it's great baseball. But Steve, it wasn't good. It wasn't, I don't think, good enough for Steve to say, baseball. A good baseball game is obviously the cornerstone, right?
Yep.
But I think for Steve, it's just like that's not what we want. we, like that where Remax Field has been, the home for community gathering from the indigenous. We talk about it every game, since time memorial or whatever. And that's what Steve wanted. Steve said, let's make this baseball diamond a place of community where people can come. Baseball's the reason you're buying a ticket to a baseball game, but that's not all that you get. And I find that some of the stuff that we have nothing to do with, like, for instance, the plastic beer bats.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right? I mean, everybody wants it. And then, again, there's this thing, Donovan, the social media that the kids are on, right?
Right.
But, but how many Instagram photos do you have with some of the beer bat in the Walterdale Bridge and stuff? It's such an iconic park.
Yeah.
And when people start coming to feel like, okay, baseball is a game, and Tom, I don't know what you talk about, sports or whatever, but it's oftentimes referred to as a pastime.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's not really a sport.
It is a sport, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those
It's America's
games,
pastime.
right?
Yeah.
Where you can sit back and
baseball
have a
and
beer
apple pie. It's very
and
American.
visit and do stuff, right? So we took that.
And the ticket price.
Yeah.
No, so cheap.
Let's not forget
fantastic.
about the ticket price. But so Steve is just like, let's give the fans a better experience and let's bring community. And so, like, what was it? Retro Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like, before, if you guys ever make it to the pregame show, like, we don't have anything to do with that. That's just, but it's just ridiculous what's on the stage, and Steve never tells us.
Yeah, until we show
what's
up.
going on. So when we show up, we sometimes find out for the first time.
He's like, I'm going to have 800 motorcycles.
No.
Paratroopers.
He says we're going to have motorcycles.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to say
That's
we're
true.
going to have some motorcycles.
Yeah.
And then there's 100 motorcycles that come out, right?
And you're
then,
like, what the hell?
Right.
Where were all these? What is going on here?
Yeah, but then we'll have dancers in front, and then we're going to have a barbershop choir.
Yeah.
And we'll put them all on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
And you have 11 minutes. You
Right.
know? So
but he
it's
loves
fantastic.
So you don't know what to expect. And Steve will be like, what are we racing? Like, this is a prize. What are you prize? And Steve's like, well, I met a guy at the city.
Yeah.
And I got a whole bunch of these transit signs.
Right, when they
that
built the
yeah,
LRT.
when they built the LRT. So I I put them in the shed. And so you win, and it's just like, people are like, what do I get? $100 of it? No, a transit sign.
Yeah, bus stop
Or
sign.
they renovated the thing. There's this gigantic Riverhawk.
Yeah, it used to be a tabletop logo.
And he took them off, and you win, and so here's your prize. And like some
What are you going to do? He's carrying around a giant tabletop.
It's not even a prize.
They're awesome, though.
They are awesome.
I want a bus stop sign, and I want to...
So the thing is, you could do all this, but that's all Steve. And what we try to do is take Steve's, whatever he wants to do, and turn it into
make it as fun as possible.
Execute it to the level that we do. That's really all it is. But we try to help him with contests.
And Steve also, I mean, this is a love letter to Steve, I guess. But
he's got a fresh 20, a crisp one for both of you after the show.
Yeah,
and he's going to gently put it into your back pockets with the squeeze.
We're looking at our watch, and we're
right.
like, where's Steve? We're going to have this meeting in 5 minutes. And he's in the parking lot putting up pylons, making sure the parking sign, he's doing it. He does it all.
So the one game, he was in the parking lot, and some people drove by in these 600cc engine, right drive Japanese import vehicles.
Right.
And they had pulled up in front of the Riverhawks and Remax Field, and they were talking about going for a cruise. And Steve saw him out of the office. We're talking, this is 4 o'clock on a game day. So Steve comes out and says, hey guys, what's this all about? I'm like, we're in a club. We have these small Japanese import right drive cars. And he's like, what's the club called? And so what do you guys do? It's like, well, we just drive around and we meet. It's like, hey, can you come back here in 2 hours
and drive them on the field?
And they came back and they let them drive on the field and they did a whole thing. And I'm like, I said to Steve, because Steve's in the booth, I'm like, who are these guys? And it's like, this is the such and such. And then it's like, well, someone from the field, go interview them about their car. And they drive around, and then like then all of a sudden I see one of the Riverhawks is sitting in the back of one of these ones. I'm like, what is going on? Like, so the opening ceremonies, everybody thinks you put so much time. They've just parked in front. Steve's like, hey, can you whip it around? It's like, wasn't that great? I'm like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I still don't know who they are. And they drove around.
Well, I think that's a lot of times we start the games by saying, what the hell is going on? What are we doing?
That's so Hogle.
Yeah. And it's so much fun.
It takes a lot of pressure off you guys, because if that's what's happening,
yeah, the bar is low. No, I mean
what's
just having some fun?
Yeah,
You get
I love it.
Beer bats in you, and you're like, I don't know what I'm seeing, but I like it.
Yeah,
like there's a bunch of people playing frisbee for no reason.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And then
we had cricket players for an hour and a half one day because there was a delay. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, we'll just say like, and will there be a break? And I'll just say, run this video, but don't run the sound. And then I'll tell Donovan and be like, hey, we don't have any sound in this video. And Donovan will be like, okay, I know this video. And he'll just improvise a movie clip and stuff. We don't plan for any of that stuff. But I think if you plan for it that much, it just is not as much.
Yeah,
fun.
It loses that kind of pop.
And Donovan and I have always said that we're just working towards the moment when we get fired.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Because we're like, why would you invite us back next game? Because we're clearly
it has
not
come
good
so
at
many
this.
times. We're just pushing that envelope. Because the umpires are always like looking up at Graham like, with this angry look on their face, like we've gone too far, too much.
Settle
time.
down, West Coast
but I think
League
when
umpire.
there's nothing on the line for us, it's also fun. Because Steve's like, we always tell Steve, well, you know what? I mean, if you get in trouble, just fire him.
Well, and he's a good gatekeeper that way. He's like, oh, we get complaints, but I take care of them.
He loves handling stuff like that, doesn't he? He was my old boss when I was at Oilers TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I was getting deja vu when you were describing him, like throwing weird ideas, and he drove me crazy.
Yeah.
But he made me a better broadcaster.
For sure.
I love him. But
I think the unplannedness, and I think everyone sort of made the Riverhawks kind of, there hasn't been a history. It's not like your dad's team or your mom's team or anyone else. And I think a lot of young people are claiming the team as their own, right? You know what I mean? And wearing that merch, which is awesome and stuff. And I feel a lot of younger people are coming in and like bachelorette parties and stags and so Steve
it's the spot to be to go before the Friday or Saturday night on White or Jasper.
Well, and
people come out for that.
And on Sundays you can bring your pets. So like
but like so Steve will be like, oh, there's a bachelor there's a stag party in one of the suites and the guy's dressed as
he's wearing
a wedding
gown
and Steve's like, you know what'd be funny? Like, this is during the game. This isn't like, let's plan it out. What'd be funny is if we get this guy to run on the field like he's the runaway bride, and then we'll interrupt, like stuff like that, and we'll be like, okay. So like we've interrupted the games and stuff. Right, exactly. But the unexpected, if it looks too planned, then people know.
Steve came to me just a few weeks ago before one of the games.
Oh, about your tight pants?
Yeah, he was complaining.
Yeah.
No, he's like, you can really, oh boy, talk about a beer bat. And he's like, hey,
a glizzy.
Would you take that little mini motorbike we have, and would you jump a guy dressed in a shark costume? Would you like jump a ramp? And I'm like, yeah.
No, it was my son.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I said, I don't want to jump Graham's son.
But I'll pick this guy.
But we picked another guy. He's like, I'll do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll jump you. So then
Donovan knew he'd have to face me if he landed on my son.
I'm not going to kill his son. That'd be terrible.
Some random guy. He's like,
wow, whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I've never
awesome work.
So it wasn't like I'm concerned about him, just concerned about the awkwardness with that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
So you don't want to hurt the fruit and the friendship. Who cares about the son? But the friendship here is too valuable.
Yeah. So, so that's a weird thing. So I'm like, yeah, I'll jump a guy on a motorbike, and so it took a couple practice shots and then we did it.
Yeah.
Did you wear a helmet?
No, a helmet.
What for? You had a cigarette in your mouth too, I hope.
That's right. Yeah, I'm wearing baseball pants.
Yes.
So, like, come on now.
Should have wore a batting helmet.
I guess I could have. Yeah.
In hindsight,
What's the point?
We did get a text already.
Oh, no.
It says, just tuned in. Is that the Donovan that is the proud owner of the Burger Baron sign?
I am. I do own a Burger Baron sign. Yes, it is in my basement right now because my new house apparently have been told it's too nice to put a Burger Baron sign on.
Come on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Lame.
Doesn't add up.
That's an Alberta staple right there.
It is, but I love my Burger Baron sign. It's fantastic.
As you should. 780-218-9999 Paris Jewelers inbox.
But what do you guys like about the Riverhawks?
Yeah.
What do you like?
We're the Section I gang. Do you know this?
No, what's that?
EYE?
Well, in Section I, we sit in Section I.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
don't mess with that. Don't front.
But is that you got your spot? You always go to the same
Well,
spot?
we always go to the same spot.
Moon
So
started
Cam
this.
Moon goes there. When Cam Moon and I, we really didn't know each other fully.
Yeah.
But
And now you're dating.
We both close.
Yeah.
We
had a date
practically
night at the
married.
game one night.
Yeah.
Should have included you guys.
Singles and
They
doubles.
were probably there.
We would do it.
Singles into doubles.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was awkward. There's a really good story. But go ahead. Sorry.
But it just happened. We always sit, both of us, before we kind of knew each other. It's third base line up high, and that's where we always sat. And then we just end up sitting there.
Scouts sit.
Yeah.
And then
These guys are...
Lieutenant Eric has come there, Tommy's come there, and that's like where we
all
go.
go there.
And that actually kind of annoyed me a little bit at one of the last games of the season. Like, I got there a little late, and the section was full.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's my section. So I had to move over. Then playoffs, I made sure I got my Section I tickets. But it's just that it's fun to go to the park. It's fun to watch baseball. It's a great view. You're not beating the spot that Remax Field is in inner city.
Well, last year,
it is.
the team didn't do very well. I don't know if anybody noticed, though.
didn't.
You know, like they didn't do very well, apparently.
500.
Nobody cares.
Team was
Nobody cares.
Right.
The record.
I mean, the players.
They didn't make.
They do.
Yeah, they didn't have a good record.
No,
I don't think they did.
I don't know. That's what I hear. But everybody
They made
still,
the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they sure
Heard
they
that.
did.
You just made one for that one.
Everybody cheers.
Tied for
You know,
first.
they don't
Yeah.
care. They're there to support this
As I worked that
team.
game.
Yeah.
It was a playoff game. Steve said this is special.
Yeah. I wasn't there. I missed it.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. But whatever.
Whatever. Nobody missed you.
No.
That's not
What?
True. That's not true. That's not true.
Well, hopefully we're back next year, but we don't know.
Who knows?
I feel like you guys are probably back next year.
I don't know.
Call it a hunch.
I don't have a contract.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't even know what I get paid.
No, neither do I.
I just
Do
get
you get paid?
yeah, but I get like a greasy bag of cash once a month.
Yeah. Steve, I just make sure I get reimbursed for the food I bring.
The glizzies.
Like a blueberry pie and
Yeah, that's right.
jalapenos and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Can you swing by on
Yeah.
the way?
Can you get 400
to the game?
Nanaimo bars?
We're going
Okay.
to try to eat them tonight.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
How have you put up with Hogle for that long? Because you guys have to go back, what?
We do.
he's a
20,
great guy.
Yeah.
He is a great guy.
He's got a lot of
yes.
energy.
Yes, honestly.
His pants are tight too. He wears some tight pants.
Well, when you're in not good a shape.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, I don't know, Steve.
He's
yeah,
fit and limber.
Steve is like, Steve pretty much is Donovan's pretty much like family, right? My kids all grew
There's
up. like,
pictures of Steve and I dancing at Graham's wedding,
Yeah.
and my pants were off.
Yeah.
And I wish that was not true.
That is
but it is
absolute truth.
very, very true.
So I think that's the other thing too. It's like once you sort of have, like as Donovan will tell you, the trust of someone and the commitment to someone, and Steve fosters that, and Steve always has your back, and he's got a good, it's been a lot of fun. And Steve, whatever he's been doing, I've been always sort of close to being around it. But I mean, it's an infectious attitude. Passion is contagious, and Steve has that, and I think that's part of why the Riverhawks success is where it is, because it's Steve's passion to do stuff different, and people respond, right? But I mean, you sometimes have to take a chance and risk failure. But
well, and also, I mean, you're great at like producing the stuff, the
I
bits,
am great at
right?
that, yeah.
Because of his TV background, Graham is really good at spotting something that will help tell a story or is more interesting or a different angle.
Yeah.
And so when we have these meetings, he'll text me just before and he'll be like, "Hey, what about this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Let's do that. That's a great idea."
And if the game's a bit of a lull, what we try to do is like, hey, this bat boy seems to really be dancing, or bat girl, and so then we'll sort of push it and then put the camera on them, and then next thing it'll lead to a dance off with one of the players. Right, and that's on the players are into it, and that's the other thing. The players love this. The players will be, sometimes I'll bring a player up into the broadcast booth with me while we're doing and I'll be like, you talk, you introduce this person and stuff, because it's fun. Because I think the players, there's not that I'm a big star, and there's that community between the players and the fans too, which I like.
And I think we're getting better players too, because I think every team I talk to all the team, not all the teams, but I try to anyway.
At the bar after.
Yeah, at the bar mostly. I'm driving them in a little bus that I have now.
Yeah.
It's the Riverhawk bus.
I thought you drove around in the little hat thing.
Yeah, I did.
Around town.
That would be so good. Hey?
That would be amazing.
The
That would
little
be
hat
very
thing.
fitting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bird cage.
Yeah, that's the
Please, if you're gonna at least know the terminology.
I apologize. This is sacred.
Yeah, but they're all like, "Wow, I can't believe how many people you got here. This the baseball field is fantastic. I wish I could play here."
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help the quality of the baseball in the city.
That's something that keeps popping up. Is there's a lot of talk about the ballpark, the vibe, and sounds like players are talking about that.
Well, I heard-
you guys contribute to that.
Yeah, sorry. I heard from the All-Star game. So the Riverhawks players were just constantly being told by everyone else how great it was in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then you get to play in front of a big park that's full of people as well. Edmonton summers are beautiful. Like we talk about in hockey and stuff, players not wanting to come here, but there's a reason it's winter. Here they get the best.
Yeah.
And also they're college kids. Drinking age is 18.
Yeah, they love that.
Straight up, I don't know if Hogle wants me to talk about that fully as much, but it's...
Boys will be boys.
Well, and
You could drink that, and also, weed is legalized here in Canada. There are some extra advantages that Edmonton has.
So those are performance-enhancing drugs, by the way.
right, yeah.
I've had players from the
Not in hockey anymore.
opposing teams want to trade me Riverhawks merch.
Okay.
Now.
it's good merch.
I will say
And the
Lieutenant
merch
Eric
is fantastic.
Well, Lieutenant Eric wants all the other teams to bring a bin of merch.
Yes.
to when they come here because he will spend money on all the other teams' merch. He wants to buy it.
What a terrible person.
Well, he just wants to own all the stuff.
Yeah. He has
a bunch of Riverhawks stuff.
But there's a little thing called the internet. Hey, you could probably just pick that up online.
Yeah, but then you got to pay for that shipping.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
No, but the Riverhawks merch is just always.
No, it is top notch.
It is, and it's one you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You walk around this city and someone's got a Riverhawks hat.
That is true. You
hats
see
are
lots,
awesome.
yeah. And even there was a Blue Jays game and took a shot at someone in the crowd. They had a Riverhawks hat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's good colors.
It is, and
Really
like I
nice.
said, I think that there's that. I think fans sort of feel like they're part of something. I think fans that would never have envisioned themselves going to a baseball game go to a baseball game. I see, number one, I see a lot of families. So we have to be cognizant about who our audience is. We see a lot of families, which is awesome. But I see a lot of you'll see like 4. What appears to be like single women in their late 20s, like going with a group kind of going out, and maybe it's stereotypical, but I never really expected to see that that demo and going to the baseball games and stuff as well as a night out, right? You always feel like it's a hardcore baseball fan, and a lot of young people just there, like you said, going out before they go out, and it's a thing to do, and dare I say, I think it's cool.
It's very
I
cool.
think people are like, if you
straight up,
went
it's
to the
very cool.
Riverhawks game, that's pretty cool. Where I think if you talk about some other sporting teams, you might get a little bit sort of debated.
Well, the Elks, we've had a lot of discussions about how do
yeah.
the Elks turn things around. And often we hear a lot of, they got to do what the Riverhawks are doing. Find a way to do what the Riverhawks
Yeah, I
are
don't
doing.
think they can, though. I think it's because it's a completely different venue. I mean, we're nice and intimate and, and everybody feels like they're in on the ground floor at this. Like they're supporting something that's brand new. There's not that legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be a diehard fan. And I guarantee that half the audience
point.
doesn't know anything about baseball when they come to that game.
Right. It's the best social sport.
Yeah, they don't care, right? But I think millennials, I mean, maybe I'm wrong because I'm an old man.
listen,
But
We're millennials.
Here we go now.
Oh boy, let me tell you how it is.
Yeah, they don't care about baseball. They don't. But because we bring something that's entertaining,
Yes.
like that added value, they'll come and sit and watch.
Yeah, so absolutely.
But I mean, it's also this thing where it's, like somebody loses their wallet and we'll announce that, right? You know what I mean? Somebody will come to the booth and say, what's the name of the other pitcher? Because surprisingly, I might not have announced their name.
right.
Weird. Because they want to yell at them. They want to use them to chirp. And they'll come right up and they'll talk to me. And I'm like, sure, this is what it is. Like people will come up and request songs from the DJ.
Well, so many people come and hit me up too, and
Yeah.
they're like, "It's my daughter Karen's 21st birthday."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, Karen's birthday. She's
Yeah.
in Section I," and then they announce it.
Sure. Yeah.
And people feel great, right?
Right.
Or I'm like, "Hey, here's a 9-year-old kid having a birthday party. Let's put him on the big screen."
Yeah.
And I'll give him some cake.
But it just seems
it
like
happens.
it's like Edmonton. It's like a big small town sometimes.
Yeah,
And
good
you
point.
sometimes forget about, hey, there's 8,000 people here. We should be probably acting like, this is a big thing. But we're still like, you lose your wallet, I'll announce it and we'll make a joke about it or whatever, right? Or you can come talk to me or Donovan or Steve or anybody.
Yeah.
If you got a birthday, Chancellor, we'll put you on the
I
screen.
have so
And
many people stop and talk to me, and I'm like, "Yeah, awesome, I'll talk to you." And then I'm like, "I gotta really run."
Yes.
here."
I'm up
You're very
right away.
busy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
your things are
Instagram,
pretty
but-
tough too, because an inning could go really long, it could go
Yeah.
really short, and you never
Well-
know. Like it could be a quick 3 up, 3 down, and you're into the next inning.
We have like people running around that kind of help us,
Yes.
know. And that's the one thing at the beginning of the year that we have to tell them. I'm like, do not dawdle ever, because an inning could be 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah.
All right. That's the one thing I know about baseball. And so I'm like, we got to
say, well done with the terminology.
We got to
Nice.
get to wherever we're going right now, just in case, right?
But I think, also what hamstrings us a little bit in the middle of between the innings is that surprisingly, I think this will come as a shock to some fans, is that we never have rehearsed any of the games that we do.
Yeah.
So we're not 100% sure
Right.
how they work or how long they'll take.
Right. Or how
So-
they've changed or who's setting them up.
Right. And so sometimes we get feedback from the umpires.
Right.
But
Right.
now I think, and I don't know if any umpires are watching or doing this or seeing this, but I think they kind of like the stuff too. Like I think they let us go a little bit longer because they're like, you know what? I know this is a baseball game. There's 7,000 or
is the
5,000 or
pros.
8,000.
Yeah.
But there's somebody is carrying a couch with someone else on it, around a pylon thing
Yeah.
for, I don't know what that game is or why it's there. I think someone dropped a couch off at the Riverhawks.
That's exactly what happened, because they didn't want it.
And then we're like,
And
let's
we've
make
kept
a
it.
game out of
Yeah.
it, right? I think it was Maddie said,
And
well,
it's
there's a scene
pleather,
from-
so it's good in the weather.
yeah,
good stuff.
so that's where a game would be like. So Maddie's like, oh, we should use it for this friends
Yeah.
contest, and then it's just here, and we can't get rid of it. We're like, well, let's just put someone on the couch again.
Yeah, chase them around the
There's
field.
no reason for
No.
that, but we just have a couch, and so to get the couch out and then
To make
run
use of
around
it.
the
It's not
pylon,
easy. Yeah. It
Could
takes some
take you
time.
more than what's in between, right?
Well, I know the first season we started doing this, the umpires wouldn't look at me because I'm down on the field, obviously.
Yeah.
When they have their umpire meeting, I'm standing right there, and they would never look at me, and I'm like, oh, they're very angry.
Yeah.
And then this year, they're like, hey, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they're buying in too.
But I think
They
everybody
should.
gets it. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
an umpire, you're like, hey, you're umpire with the Riverhawks. That's kind of a cool thing, right?
It's a
Yeah.
show.
And
And
so-
yeah, it's a show.
And it's good for the league.
If you
like
take
in an
that
overall.
stuff that
Can't hurt.
Donovan and I do to sort of ruin the game from an umpire's perspective,
Yeah.
you take that out, I think it takes.
It makes the night longer, even though it's shorter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just doing baseball.
And Donovan is
Yes,
awesome on this
yes.
Friday, Saturday. Donovan is a master, and I've been with him many, many times of entertaining drunk people. So he's right in his element.
They're not. You know, that's interesting because they're not too bad.
No.
Like I've seen way worse drunk people. These people are there to have a really good
Sure.
time.
The vibe is good.
Yeah.
Like legit,
Yeah, it is.
everyone's
Yeah.
there to enjoy themselves. And,
Yeah.
there's a few things there. Like the umps, if they're giving you the look, but now, Donovan, you're saying you go into the meeting and they say hello to you.
Yeah, I
It's
interrupt
short-
the meeting and I'm like, "Hi guys," and they're like, "Hey,
What's up?
And I just walk by.
It's short season college ball,
Yeah.
and they have a turn. You guys get like 5,000 to 10,000 people there for them to watch these kids play, and they're part of the show, and it's fun, and everyone's having a good time. So I'm not surprised to see them warming up to it, and it's
Yeah.
not like you guys are doing Savannah Bananas,
Yeah.
banana ball, like
Right.
that,
Yeah.
where it's like so. There's a game to be played. You guys know your boundaries.
There's a balance.
Yeah, exactly, and you guys are pros, and you're walking that
We
line
will
properly.
continuously push that balance.
Well,
But and as you should, right?
And I'll apologize on the mic. I'll actually say, hey, umpires, we're really sorry, but you know what? That
Yeah.
couch took a lot longer to get off. Like, you just own it, right? I don't
Yeah.
think there's any major league announcers. Like, I've never considered myself an air quote real announcer. I don't think a real announcer talks specifically to a fan on the screen, talks to the umpires, sets up a contest,
Yeah.
like does the stuff like that,
Well, we try to keep. I mean, I try to keep one eye on the field all the time
Yeah.
because when the batters are coming in
Yeah.
to the box, that's when you got to stop talking. I miss it all the time, and then we have meetings, and it's always like you got to watch the batters. I'm like, yeah, I know,
But I'll hustle you up
whatever.
sometimes because I'm watching, and
Yeah.
I'll say, we got to go, and
So we
stuff.
are cognizant of the game,
Right.
And we want the best product for everybody.
At no
right?
point, Donovan, we have said this many times, have
Yeah.
we purposely tried to ruin the games.
What?
Yeah, I mean, not purposely.
Why are you lying?
Yeah. No, we never.
No.
We never try to.
No.
We never try to. But sometimes
We're not. We're not there for us. We're there for the greater good of this whole event, including the view of the city and everything.
Well, I bought a ticket this summer, and it said Graham Neil and Donovan
That's right.
Workun, featuring
Present.
the Edmonton Riverhawks
Yeah.
and whatever.
Well,
it is they
like
came.
we're overshadowed by a lot. So okay, think about what a highlight is and takes time and takes away from the rhythm of the game. Is Iceman, the bat dog, that goes to retrieve the
now
bat.
he is a superstar,
Right.
I love the
and
bat
so the
dog.
bat dog goes out and sometimes doesn't get the bat right away and sometimes takes time.
Because
The
he's
players have to hold
stupid
up.
because
and
he's a
stuff.
dog.
Right. It's not really. I don't think
You take
that's-
that back.
All the dog lovers are gonna hate this.
Right.
You take that
They're
back.
coming at you.
Iceman,
You bring it.
I remember one game I said an Iceman is now on the Hawk Walk with his cards, and it was just like, wow.
He got trading cards.
Nobody's in the stadium in the seats anymore. They're all
Yeah.
around Iceman. But what I'm saying
Iceman
is
got
that
trading cards.
players will stand back and they'll watch this dog and the umpire and stuff, and the crowd gets a big cheer. And those are the moments. And so let's say that there's that warning track race.
it's
which
great.
again,
I love it.
So one
Yeah, it's
time,
fantastic.
we found, somebody found, I think it was Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Somebody had an inflatable Olaf.
Oh,
suit,
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So we put someone in the Olaf suit because I think it's funny. If you got to beat someone at Christmas, you want to try to beat Olaf, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So the person runs in the Olaf suit. We can't give identities away, and it's
No,
fun.
it's Brad.
And then I'm like, the next game, I'm like, do we still have that Olaf suit? It's like, I got really ripped up in that last game. I'm like, well, could we
Put it on again.
Put it on again, half inflated.
Yeah.
So now, and people show up like at one game, they're like, why is Olaf racing in this game?
We're like,
Because
don't
we
ask.
just like the suit. And then we'll put someone like Brad will always race. So now Olaf always joins
He
the
wears
race.
that suit more than he really has
does,
to.
yeah.
It's one of those. Well, I have to put that on again. Oh no!
but there's not a lot
No,
of
he'll
thought.
show up in it and be like, "We're doing it again." We're like,
But so
"Oh."
it's just weird that you're going to see someone race in an Olaf suit, but people just
Yeah, or we had a
accept
guy
it.
in one of those green suits that would just appear
Yeah.
and run around, and
But-
we'd be like, "What?"
But the big race, Donovan, as you know, for that race, so let's say Olaf runs, let's say a group of people run or whatever, but let's say there's somehow, Donovan picks these, I don't know how he picks the contestants. He doesn't do a great job at picking.
I don't
like,
pick the contestants.
Well, whatever it is,
Yeah.
there's never.
I don't have time to pick
It's
the
never a
contestants.
balanced race.
No,
right?
never. Yeah.
But sometimes, and I don't know how, sometimes like a 4-year-old will be in
Yeah.
the race, and I don't know why. And I can't explain why, and I don't know why.
And like, whose 4-year-old parents are gonna
Right.
be like, "Get out there,
100%.
hold my
Give it.
cigarette,
But there's a
take a
four-
note to go buy me cigarette."
But there's a 4-year-old. So there's 10 people racing from the foul line, from the first base
To the third.
to the warning track to third. And oftentimes there's teenagers, there's other stuff. There's a person in an Olaf costume. Sometimes there's an inflatable dinosaur, a guy in a green suit. Nobody knows. And oftentimes, or once in a while, a 4-year-old. So they all run and they're really
In Crocs,
fast.
yeah.
And then there's a 4-year-old running clearly like so far behind everyone else. It's
yeah,
like,
it's gonna be 3 or 4 minutes.
right. But yet
At
we'll
least.
hold it up and the crowd gets into it because then we make that the focus. And Donovan will go out, we'll put the camera on because we just want this 4-year-old to finish.
And
the
to
crowd
succeed,
goes
and to win.
Yes, of course.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like just the biggest ovation, crazy because the 4-year-old does it. And by that time, the winner's already got the transit signs, probably gone.
Yeah, having a glizz.
But the players love it, and we'll see the players like clap and stuff and everything and cheer for this 4-year-old, and those are the moments like that people just like. I like it, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's heartwarming. It's
Yeah.
family friendly.
And
Yes.
Steve's first pitches, unbelievable. Like to
Yeah.
throw the first pitch out, like the last game was a family displaced by the Jasper
Fire.
Fire. It was a 6-year-old. Then the firefighter who died, his best friend, and the firefighters came. It was very emotional. We do the swearing in. Steve does it. The swearing in of new Canadians on Canada.
Yeah, I remember that.
But that's
great.
that's unbelievable. There's only 2 official swearing in ceremonies in Edmonton, and one's at the Riverhawks game. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Like one's at the legislature where you think it's going to be, and one is on the pitching mound at the Riverhawks
Yeah.
game, and that's all Steve.
Yeah, and we push. Of course, Steve pushes to have Canada Day here all
Yes.
the time because
It's
it's
a
the
tradition.
greatest event.
I was at that game. It was
and we
fantastic.
can't even.
It was
And let's
awesome.
not even start about Uncle John's fireworks.
Oh, Uncle John, he's my favorite uncle.
Yeah, he's a little. I don't know. He smells funny. But
Like gunpowder.
yeah, gunpowder and whiskey.
Is he missing any fingers?
Oh, all of them. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
stumps. It looks like he's shaking a fist at you all the time. He's trying to high five.
He's just waving.
Yeah, and but it
So I
is
guess
not
I got a new
joke.
fireworks provider next year, Donovan. Thank you.
It is not a joke. You think, oh my gosh, well they're gonna have a little fireworks display. It rivals Canada Day. It rivals K-Days or whatever it's called now. It is one of the greatest displays of pyrotechnics I have ever seen.
That's every Friday.
Every Friday.
Yeah, I mean,
love that.
But the other thing too is, I mean, it's not a big deal maybe for us because we sort of understand that, but maybe it is. But these are college players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when going on the field after, and I think that's where when it's a blowout and a lot of people are filing out leaving, nobody leaves because you also get to go on the field,
Run the
afterwards,
bases.
run the
Yeah.
bases, and the players all come out. And if
And the
you're,
little
if
kids
you're a
come
little
up.
kid,
Yeah.
you get an autograph. You see
These guys are
players, you've seen them,
superstars.
they're superstars. Well, Tommy Takeyoshi, I mean, he is a superstar. He's our
Oakland A's.
favorite player.
TNT.
That's not true. We have many.
we love them all.
We love them all. But he's very popular. But kids come out but then it's not just kids and the parents, and you get an autograph. And then like one time, like my kid was there. I think he's 12, like a year before last, and just like, hey, I want to test my fastball. And then one of the players like, yeah, let's do it. Like right there, and like, just playing catch with some of these players is. That's an experience. And again, that comes down to building. It's all about building community and having fun.
Yeah.
To go on the field after and take your beer out and mix and mingle. And then maybe if it's a Friday, fireworks go off and stuff.
and get a video of your kids running the bases.
It's a
I'll
one of a
never
kind.
forget that. It's a great memory you'll have
Absolutely.
forever. Yeah.
And that's where, when people say, oh, they should take some advice from, it's a special, it's tough to say.
Lightning in a bottle almost.
Yeah, let's take it to someplace else.
Yeah, how are you going to
It doesn't
put that
always
in
work.
Commonwealth Stadium?
That's
Because
tough.
because the fans have
Yeah.
built it.
Yeah,
Right,
good point.
the fans have done this. Like, I mean, as much as Steve has leaned in and tried to listen and do it, but at the end of it, the fans are claiming this and doing this as their own.
And like we do a lot of events, and I host a lot of big events outdoors, and
Humble brag.
different things like that. And the one thing I've really found about the Riverhawks games, nobody complains. Like when you're there, nobody's like, oh, the parking was terrible. Like, parking is a little terrible, but nobody's mad about it.
No, it's never been good there.
No,
Right, but it's
never
almost
been good
like,
there.
hey, we'll plan for it, or there's long lines.
Well,
and,
everybody's
we'll do
happy.
stuff.
Everybody's
It seems,
cool.
Yeah.
Seems weird that way, and moderate complaints about how come there's no statistics of the players.
Right,
And it seems
exactly.
like the announcer
Why is that
might
guy
not even
doesn't have
know the
pants on?
players.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
There's one thing that has come up that we've discovered, and we're wondering if you guys have noticed
yeah,
this.
go ahead.
Right.
You guys have a T-shirt cannon guy.
Oh, can I read the text?
You could get to the text. Who
This might be the one point where people complain.
is he's doing somersaults now
We
and
have-
sanding the shirts out of the park.
Yeah.
He's got to work on his performance, we think.
He's dialed up the gun. That gun is on Viagra now. It is like, it goes a lot.
We love watching because
Well,
obviously there's the net and you have
so
to get
this
over
is-
the net.
this is
But we
my-
love having jokes about
We do too.
Yeah.
You know
T-shirt
what?
cannon guy.
We are so upset when it goes over. I'm like, God damn it, what, again?
Does Hogle have to go up on the roof
So-
and get them
yeah.
down? Yeah, probably.
Well, we always fly the drone and
which is
show you
amazing.
We show where the shirts are.
Yeah.
Really?
And that's
like
another
we'll show
great
where
thing
they
about
are
it.
on
I've never
the
seen that
roof,
one.
and we'll
Yeah.
show stuff. Or out in the parking lot and stuff. We'll show like it's just like, you know what, we have people that couldn't get in today, so that T-shirt is for them.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like that one dude in the park that's kind of sketchy, that's always out there. Like with
Yeah, he
the
lives
baseball.
there, Graham.
He's got 18
Yeah.
shirts.
Yeah, that's right. He got a whole fancy wardrobe.
Thanks to Alex. But yeah,
Is Alex who it is?
Yeah, Alex
He
and
needs-
Brad.
they need to improve.
I'll name
They
them.
need to improve.
Absolutely.
They're
Enough with
outed
the
right now.
somersaults.
I'm gonna
Work
give you
on your
their-
aim
it's-
before you
it's
start
a
doing the
shoulder
show.
roll.
I'll
Yeah.
give you their phone numbers on
Perfect.
here.
No, we understand, but now I had thought
They broke the cannon.
they broke it,
And then they got it repaired. And the company here in Edmonton that repaired it did a.
There's a company in Edmonton that repairs those
They
things.
may have done too good of a job.
Well,
that
so-
seal is fantastic.
So you guys, so this is what I suggested already to these for the off season kind of mockumentary, is I want to have these guys go to T-shirt school.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
want to basically like have it like really serious, like they train and Donovan plays like a T-shirt cannon expert that comes in and they work on it and stuff, right? So I
Do a
got it all
Rocky
worked out.
montage.
Yeah.
Got it all worked out in my mind.
Yes.
But I feel like again, so one person doesn't get a T-shirt or two people because it goes out of the stadium. But look at we're all talking
and
about
that's
it,
the
right?
thing.
We're
Yeah.
all talking about it, and in fact, I thought that someone started a Twitter account saying like the Riverhawk T-shirt guy.
Oh, really? Oh, hilarious.
And I saw like was it I don't
Keep
know if it was
stats of what he
Spectre or
got.
some legitimate media guy was talking about what the T-shirt percentage cannon was that day. I mean, you got, and I mean just like. I understand you want to hit it, but no other T-shirt cannon,
garners that much interest.
yeah, and that's the
Very
bar
true.
is set so low
Yeah.
for Steve. These guys
Yeah.
should not be out there firing a T-shirt. We all know that.
No,
But
like
that's
a guy
the
does
thing.
a dive and roll and shoots the cannon, and then
it goes- yeah.
But that's his time. He's working in the merch store.
Yeah.
This is his time
Yeah.
to come on and shine.
Yeah.
So he's.
We
gotta
don't want to
push
give it away, but the other guy is often seen in a Olaf costume.
Yeah. So, but a shoulder roll, like I told him, I'm like, before you do the shoulder roll, let's get the T-shirt. Let's
Yeah, let's dial that in. Dial that in, then shoulder roll.
But you understand,
Right.
like Donovan and I. talked-
Also, I need an extra large in the hoodie.
But we talk. But you talk about commitment, and for us, from a comedic point of view, and Donovan always loves to use the analogy of Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
You try so hard, and you do it, and so he's trying so hard to put in a show and shoulder roll, and he still fails.
Yeah.
and you get
We love it.
You
We
partly
love
get
it.
angry, but you're partly like he's trying so hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're terrible.
Keep the stats for next year.
I will,
You should put
yeah.
that on the scores.
We did
scoreboard.
I
like
announced
for the whole
stats.
year.
I do announce the stats, but
Like-
now I want to run some video. So.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Rocky montage,
Yeah.
the whole training.
Train him up so he makes sure it stays in the
Yeah.
ballpark,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Like
we
doing
should
it
be.
stuff,
He's
yeah.
just got to be hitting like batting 750.
Yeah, right. I think we
I-
start shooting hot dogs and stuff too.
Donaires.
Right? Yeah, like
the
Oilers do
started
donaires.
that.
We
Yeah,
can shoot hot
yeah,
dogs.
absolutely. If this
Glizzies.
Glizzy in a
yeah.
T-shirt.
The glizzy
I
gun.
think
Like a turducken in a
Chef's
baseball.
kiss, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Norman.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, hot dog and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Great deal.
I'm so hungry now.
Oh boy.
So hungry.
Norm in a combine says, "Why no T-shirt cannon guy? You need him to come in." Well, we just outed him, Norm.
Yeah.
Oh,
We shamed him.
they're not going to be happy with either
Yeah,
of those
yeah.
guys. They
Yeah.
take it very seriously.
I will have trouble getting merch next year.
That is true.
Just put it on us. Put it on. I brought it up. You can put it
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that guy
Then
sitting
you
next
guys
to
aren't
me.
getting merch.
What an idiot.
You guys
we
would
didn't,
never
defend,
get
we
it.
didn't defend either of them.
Yeah.
You notice, like,
Don't
it's not like we
Yeah.
didn't air quote, go to bat for either.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Talk about Tommy Takiyoshi.
To hell with those
We'll
dudes.
Take you to task on that guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
I have his jock at home.
I know.
Stop. I drink out of it every night.
Oh,
It's
lovely.
My warm milk before I go to
Isn't
bed.
there holes in it? And then it
Yeah,
through?
I guess so. It's my spaghetti strainer.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Noodles again.
boy.
Portion size. That's how you can do it that
You
way.
got fired from the Riverhawks and taken this show got taken off of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh,
CRTC, the one day that they
2 for
wrestled
1.
us.
One
Yeah.
appearance.
I love going to
I
the
turned a
ballpark.
single into a double. There it is.
Hey-o.
That was really good because
Good
then
pun.
the guy met somebody.
Yes. And,
And
they
then,
went on a real date.
No, then we tried to get. Then the one girl was really into because I said "Look, we got to go back and find out if
On
there's
date
a
night.
Okay, what is
Yeah,
this?
Date night.
Date night. So they
Whoa.
matched up some people and we sent them on dates during the game. And then we sort of left it. And then I said to Steve, I said, we got to find this couple to see if this is a real match. And then I think at the end, she wanted to kiss
Oh,
the
she
guy.
would've,
and
yeah.
it was really funny. So
And he didn't.
he wasn't into it. But,
No.
but anyway, Donovan got his number.
Yeah.
We the Swifty night.
Yeah, we
was
did
so
Swifty
fun.
night.
I
It was
love
good.
that with the jerseys. And then, of course, Steve also.
The jerseys. Yeah, that's
Talus
I love
balls.
the jerseys. I
Yeah,
love all the
Talus
extra
ball jerseys.
jerseys
Yeah.
that they've done.
So there
Fantastic.
are some purists, and you can weigh in on this. You love it, right? There are some
Yes.
purists to be like, hey, you know, like that's not like
It's
you're
not
the,
ball.
You're the Edmonton Riverhawks. You shouldn't be the Silver City Dragons
Yeah.
or the Edmonton Trappers or whatever else. But
The Dragons were great.
I
Trappers
love
night
it.
was
But the
great.
Silver City Dragons, of course, and we got to pull out old footage.
Oh
of me.
my gosh, yeah. When
About
you're
the
like
opening
9.
of the Silver City and the Dragon and stuff, and I
Yeah.
think it's the nod. And like Tom, the last year the Talus balls that people are talking about, and I think again it's part of the community. What are we talking about at the community? How do we celebrate it? And that is none of I don't do it.
Well,
But that's
and-
also minor ball.
Yes.
Minor ball
Yeah,
is having
fair.
fun.
Yeah.
Minor
Yes,
ball
that's
is
right.
going out there and
Yeah.
doing all these side
Yes.
things.
I keep saying, man, it's too bad we're called the Riverhawks. We should have a fun name, like the Pierogies or something. Right?
Yeah.
What's the most Edmonton thing we could do, right?
The Edmund Chucks, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the
That's
Saskatoon
right.
Berries.
The Esks.
for
We'll
sure.
call them the Esks.
for sure.
Ah,
but I think
yeah,
you know,
there you
I don't think- yeah, we'll just call them the Ribs.
Yeah,
So yeah, just shorten it
just
out.
so it doesn't make any sense
That's
to
right.
anybody.
But yeah,
And all that money goes to charity. We sell all those jerseys.
Yeah.
We auction them off,
Yeah.
right?
The Trappers night was fantastic.
Oh my God! And those jerseys were like amazing.
They had like
beautiful.
so on numbers.
Yep.
Yeah, they
They're
were the
really
real
good.
deal.
Yep.
But you're right though that this is minor ball.
That's what
and
it
I think
is.
People get a taste of it, and I think the if the caliber of ball there, like there's guys throwing it in the 90s.
Yeah.
With some good like a good slider, and they're making some great. These are really.
I got hungry again.
That's a pitch.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
And
I like
there's-
little hamburgers.
Yeah, and there's but again, so if you're a ball fan. You'll enjoy that. I mean, it's really good caliber baseball.
It is.
Clearly, they're getting drafted, and one of the guys from a few years ago won the Cy Young that came out of that league, the West Coast League. So
It's
Well, you was
affiliated
a
with
pitcher
MLB.
last year, the fastest pitch in the league at 100 miles an hour, 101 or something, right?
94.
No, last year.
95, 96, 96. It wasn't.
Keep going, 97.
And all that goes to charity.
Yeah, all the charity right there.
Yeah. So, but again, I think you're right, and I think that's the atmosphere, and like the community dancers and the anthem singers and all that stuff has that small feel. Yet it's ramped up in when you get 8,000 or 9,000 people there, then it becomes a thing, and I think people really take ownership of this thing. It's really fun to be.
Yeah, it's so
part
fun.
of it.
Did you guys see the video that was online of somebody recording us singing "Sweet Caroline," but they were across the river?
No.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Wasn't that one of the?
on the bike path.
Was that Canada Day then, or it was a very big
Yeah,
crowd for that
yeah,
one?
and he was on a canoe
Yes.
on the
Oh, that's right.
on the North Saskatchewan, and he could hear it, and he recorded his phone.
It was
and
perfect, like, you could hear
it,
so well.
And we get texts all the time. I see hey, it was just in the parking lot of the Kinsman, and everyone sounding great and stuff, right?
Yeah,
so-
it's because everybody buys in. They love it.
Yeah.
And I run through the audience with a mic, and I'm never is anybody like, don't put me on the camera. Never does that happen. Everybody's like, I'm like, we're gonna sing Sweet Caroline. Everybody's like, okay,
Let's go.
let's do it.
Yeah, or Baby Shark.
Yeah, Baby Shark.
Whatever we come up
They don't
with,
care. They love it.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to sing Baby
Or
Shark.
Taylor Swift with the Swiftie night. Everyone was just rocking the Swiftie.
That was
tunes.
huge. Yeah,
Loved it.
people
There's a lot
love
of
it.
Swifties
Yeah.
on the Riverhawks.
It really
too.
is.
It really is.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
You guys are Swifties, aren't you?
Sure.
Yeah, let's absolutely.
I'll be a Swiftie if she comes to Edmonton because it'd be great to.
She's already been here.
Been
No,
twice.
but like the Commonwealth show, like the
Oh,
attention
yeah,
that it would bring, it'd be pretty nice for the city.
Yeah, and the costume
Sure.
changes.
Well, a surprise next season. She's coming to the Riverhawks.
That's right.
She's
Lucky.
first base.
That's
She's playing first base.
Oh, she's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's got a great arm, does
she's
she?
lanky. So
Yeah,
that's
she
how
is
it's-
lanky.
You know what? That's what I would
She's a
play her.
leadoff hitter at that
That's
point.
what I would play her.
She would have speed. She'd be able to get on base in the first at bat.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And
If
then-
that, maybe that I don't disagree, but I think she's going to be. I could see her at first covering a lot of ground. I could see her maybe
Pitching?
hitting fifth, maybe like kind of a little bit of power, but still there. You
I don't
lead
know
her
if she'd
off.
have the power.
Well, but do you need that kind of power, like home run power in fifth, maybe sixth, a little
Yeah,
bit down the
but
line?
that's where I would want. I think she's got the leadoff spot where she just your goals get on base.
You guys are nerds.
That's
Like,
where it
you
is.
guys
Oh,
are
100%.
real-
Well, actually, Cam Moon and I want to, and we didn't do it this year. I want to score a game. I want to sit and be a full nerd at the
Oh,
stadium
wow.
and grab the notepad and
Oh.
actually score the game as it happens.
Can you come up and do it in the booth?
Yeah.
Because I would love to know what's going on half the
That would
time.
be
Like,
great.
I'm like, how many outs are there? It's funny because DJ Aiden doesn't know baseball and
Yeah.
he can't read the scoreboard, so he sometimes thinks like the errors are the score. It's like, oh my
Sure,
god, it's
sure.
how is it 0-0? I've seen
Yeah.
guys cross the plate. I'm like, that's the error thing. Like, I love it. I'm like,
I don't even know how does the errors work. I have no idea what.
It's great. It's
Subjective.
what they believe is a baseball
mistake.
play that you should have made.
Yes.
is considered an error.
oh.
But it's subjective in that
still
sense
doesn't
of
even make sense to me. I
like,
still don't
if-
understand that.
Baseball's like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that doesn't make sense.
they have to. The scorekeeper has to sit there, like they should have made that play.
That is
That's
an
an
error.
error.
that's right.
I see.
Oh no! He couldn't have made that, so that's not an error.
an error.
So it's completely
Wow.
subjective. It's
Yeah.
not like
And so I'll, you know what? This is what I'll do for you, Donovan. I'll put a little scoreboard up for errors for you. I'll be like, you should have made that.
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. Oh my
Like
god.
with that setup,
that'd be
you
like
should have-
every
Yeah.
day. That'd be
Yeah.
huge.
And then
It'd be
Taylor
like
Swift
9,
errors
10.
to her.
Yeah,
So-
errors to her.
I remember when we had a night for 1260
The
shutting down
1260
last year.
night, that was fun.
And you came in as a full accountant for
Oh,
the day.
boy.
And it was awesome as
That
the
was
accountant
hilarious.
who like shut down
Oh,
a
did
place
you?
or
Oh,
something.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was
I forgot that.
crushed that one. That one was
was
a fun
actually
one.
pretty good.
Favorite moment this year that maybe you guys look back on and were like, I can't believe we did that.
I mean, I
can't believe we succeeded at getting this done type thing.
I'll tell you a couple. I'll tell you a couple of mine. I mean, and it's sort of but I can't believe that the military would go
Yeah.
along with this
And bring a helicopter and repel some
for Elvis.
Oh, for Elvis.
No, they
yeah.
actually lowered Elvis down.
Oh, really?
In a military helicopter.
Yeah.
For Vegas night to throw their first pitch in, and I'm like, how does the military
agree to this.
get an Elvis?
Like, what does that
impersonator?
cost the federal government?
Yeah,
Well, our
to
tax
drive
dollars
him
hard
out
at
to-
work.
Steve's like, I got to get the Elvis to the military base, and I'm like, this is a great
yeah.
job.
Yeah,
right?
and he's
So-
standing at the field with us at that time. He's
Yeah.
at the, and then you're like, well, you got to drive him out to the military.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
But I mean, the military coming in. I mean, for me, emotionally, it's like what Steve gets. The swearing in of the first Canadians is pretty great. I think anything, like the unpredictable games that you don't think will work. That are kind of fun, but I it's such a moving target. But I do love the Canada Day game because it's one of those games where I think it is. I think Donovan's right. It's become a tradition.
Yeah.
But, the dog, like Steve would get the police guy to come steal second base. Like the guy comes out. It's like he's stealing, like right in the middle of the game during the batter. And
Yeah.
so Steve's like, okay, here's what's going to happen.
yeah, guy in a big
Because he's standing behind
spike
you, right? He's
suit.
like, here's what's going to happen. So it's first responders night. So we got a guy, we got the police dog, right? And I'm like, okay. And it's like, so what we're going to do is he's going to have the guy in that big suit, right? And
Yeah.
he's going to go out and he's going to air quote steal second base.
Right, and he's going to run out from the
Right.
first baseline. The dog is at the home plate lounge.
Right, and
The
then
whole field has gotta be
And then it's going to
covered.
be a takedown. I'm like, perfect. I said, so we're doing this between the second and third, or like when
no,
it's
no,
Steve's like,
no.
no. We're going to do it when the second batter has like one or two pitches in. And I'm like during the guys at bat. It's like, yeah, during the guys at
Oh,
bat.
my.
So what we're going to do is I'll just tell you when it's going to happen, and then you announce it. And I'm like, during his at bat. It's like, yeah, during his at bat. Like, so there'd be like, now, it's like 1-1. Okay, Steve's like, now. And I'm like, what's this going on? There's someone running out to steal second base during the game. And the batter steps out of the box. The guy, like, in the full thing comes over. He's yanking it.
Yeah. And the guy's, like, scared to release the dog. And we're like, release the dog.
Comes, takes him down, like, right. There could be, like, a runner on base, like, the whole bit.
Yeah.
They get it.
Treads the needle between the players.
And Steve's like, well, if you do it in between games,
it's fine.
It's too unpredictable. But do it during the game, it's going to have that wow factor. And it's right. And it's just like...
I'm assuming those are one of those games where he gets the call from the league.
Probably.
Please don't do that ever.
He's like, yeah.
I think that's one of those ones.
That was like, cool. You know what? I chatted with the managers. I gave the umps the heads up. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
But I know, like, it's coming down. Like, I always tell him, it's just like, he knows if things go south, just say, I don't know what my announcer is doing. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'd love to actually sit in the stands and watch a game rather than be like, okay, 2 strikes, release the dog, right?
Release the dog!
Yeah.
Like Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
But I think, but if you're in the stands, that's what, I mean, they don't basically be like, there's someone on the, like, during the play,
it's not wacky.
like, right before a face-off at the Oilers game, no one jumps the glass and then let a dog go. Like, you don't see that at a sporting event. Like, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
Elks are driving down the field. It's 2nd and 10, and then all of a sudden, some dogs on the field.
So,
Release the hounds!
They're going to come out of the huddle, and the guy's going to go to the free safety, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the free safety's not going to be the free safety. We substituted him with an EPS officer. Like, that would be Steve, right? And then, like, that would be his whole thing.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, it seems
There's a lot of moments like that, and people buy in too. Like when we do the first responders nights last year, the cops, the city police, wanted to win the tug of war so bad that they sent their biggest and strongest recruits and made them all wear denim shorts and tiny little cop shirts.
That was your favorite moment.
That was my favorite moment. And then they made them tug of war against the paramedics.
Yeah.
Oh.
And one of the poor ladies in the paramedics just got like carpet rash on her face because she got dragged so hard. And it's some of those moments where you're like, what are we doing to these people?
Well, we did the contest again. We don't know how the contest is going to work, and I think the field was hot.
Yeah.
So it was riding. So basically, it was country night, and so Steve is like, let's do like, and so again, we don't know what the contest is going to be, but we have to have a race. So one person gets on all fours to be the horse.
Oh, right.
And the other person gets on it and stacks. Steve's like, I bought some horse masks.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're going to have to wear the horse masks. Everyone's like, they're not going to be able to see Steve. It's like,
well, I don't care.
Whatever.
It's 35 degrees.
Right.
There.
So they put horse masks on these people. They did the thing. And
then they had to stack dog food on their backs or something.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? We don't even know. We
potatoes, hay. It was something.
But they came out after they came out. They had rash, rug from the turf burns all over them. And Steve's like, oh, that's not good. And then he's like, then they're like, what are they?
What's their prize?
Then Steve's like, let's give them all gift certificates to the Hawk Shop. He gave them all gift certificates. Like, oh, they're super happy.
Yeah.
They're covered in turf rash.
All wearing hats and jerseys.
They loved it.
Bleeding everywhere.
Like, I can't believe they're just happy to do that.
I have so many people like going, hey, can my kid run the track? Can my kid run the... I'm like, yeah.
That's just always.
And then the 4-year-old
But
comes
then
out.
I tell the parents, I'm like, listen, you know how this works. Your kid is going to be at one end. He's going to end up at the other end, and you're going to be way over here. How is he getting back? Oh, he'll figure it out. I'm like...
Well,
okay, we'll try and help.
That's,
but
not to throw Brad again under the team bus.
Yeah.
He's the t-shirt cannon that's 1 for 100.
Yeah.
He's also Olaf.
Yeah.
And so I keep telling him, it's like, so he comes out and he's very athletic and he'll sometimes.
Is he though?
He is.
Is he?
He'll run. Now, I don't want to out him that much, but he's actually he made Riverhawk history. He's got the first home run in Riverhawk history. He used to play for the team. And now he works for the team.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, so he would go out as Olaf and then just destroy all the kids. And I'm like, okay, well,
you gotta like
Olaf shouldn't destroy the kids and win the prize.
Gear
and stuff.
down.
Right?
Yeah.
Gear down.
Yeah.
And then he loses because he overestimates himself, and Olaf should just make it like like
second
the
or
freeze
third.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But he still can't get the pace down. as
Well, it's a long track. That's
It is.
so far.
It is,
Yeah.
but we never practice.
No, we don't.
We don't do it.
That's the beauty
Well, they
of
just
it.
get
It's
the keys
natural.
and they're like, "Hey, go fire up that motorbike and ride it around the track." And I'm
See
like,
if you can jump
"Brr,
somebody."
"Okay, I'll do that."
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Just not his son.
Yeah.
Not my son.
Just
No,
the only
that's
one.
fine. My son wasn't. He was like, I don't know, because he's
I said I don't want to jump your
literally known
son.
Donovan all his life.
Yeah.
He's like, then that's why the trust.
So then we
was
hired
not
this
there.
guy, and I'm like, "Are you okay, me jumping you?" And he's like, "Yeah." Well, let me see you jump a couple times. And I'm like, "All right." And then I'm getting advice like, "You got to really gas it, eh?" I'm like, "Do you want to do this?" I said, "I'll figure it out."
I love the fact that it's like, why is there even a motorcycle jump ramp?
Yeah, where the hell did
Where
that
did that
come
come
from?
Again, somebody was just around the neighborhood, and Steve saw them and said, "Hey,
I think you're not wrong.
Yeah, they
I
can
actually
borrow
think
that?
I actually think none of that stuff is wrong. Like Steve would be like, I'm gonna need like a pie and stuff. Like I'll get all these texts day of and stuff, and I love it. Right? You know,
Yeah.
we'll always be like the eating contest.
Yeah,
Let's put
do you
something-
have this kind of can you be like a maritime sea captain?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn right I can. Then I
But
go
he'll
down
say,
in my basement and I'm
Damn
digging
right
through
I
stuff.
can. Donovan would be like, I need to go home and get it. Like an hour before the game, he's on
Yeah.
his. Donovan rides a motorized scooter, so he scoots home and gets his costume and scoots back. That's
Yeah.
how much work goes into this thing.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to blame us, at least we can't say that
For a lack of professionalism.
I like the fact that no one can say they put all that work in for nothing. It's like,
yeah.
never said to us. Like,
Are there any characters that you've been uncomfortable with, or you're like, I don't know how to do that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if I
Absolutely.
fail miserably, that's even better. Because the audience loves that more,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
What they don't like is if you try and it's just okay.
Yeah.
Right? Either go big or go home. Those are the two options, right?
Yeah.
So I will either try really hard to be the best I can. I'll always try really hard to be the best I can. Sometimes I do it. No, I do a pretty good job. I'm not going to toot my
Yeah,
horn,
no,
but
you
I
do.
love
Remember
doing
when
it.
they were doing the last year when the government had that Donair costume? That
Oh,
they're
yeah.
knocking off?
Yeah.
So then we decided that I told Donovan, I said, you know, what'd be great is if we could make a Donair costume. And then we'll say at the game that we're auctioning it off. But we won't say it's the real, like we'll just say we're
forgot
auctioning
about
off
that, yeah.
the Donair costume, right? Which is like kind of like, you know, when they say the Super Bowl, it's like come to watch the big game. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So we have the Donair costume. So what happens is that things get changed out. So Donovan goes and makes this amazing Donair costume because he's, believe it or not, very good at making stuff. Honestly, like so he makes
Crafts?
this great. Yeah,
Apparently.
seriously.
I had no idea.
makes this hilarious, super great Donair costume, and then he brings it, and then we change our minds. We're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So he's got this super great Donair costume, but then the next week is superhero night. And I said to Donovan, I said,
Yeah.
hey, you know what you should do?
Get that.
Get the Donair costume, and then you can be, of course, the greatest superhero, which is
Donair, man.
Super Donair with cheese.
with cheese,
Super
yeah.
Donair with cheese. So Donovan created this, and he came out, and we gave him a fog machine, and he came out right out
Yeah,
of the
we had
tunnel.
that. We did practice
Yeah,
that to
and
try
he
to get the
came out
fog
with the
door.
entrance, the superhero. Here he is, superhero night. It's Super Donair,
And it was no
cheese.
joke. It was
great.
I actually got hired to make 2 more after
Yeah.
that.
Did you make 10 grand on each one?
I did not. We did auction one off. That one. We auctioned it off. Somebody said they'd give us $500 to charity.
Nice.
I think they paid it.
Yeah. Nice.
But then they never got the
Never
cut.
got
Somebody
it.
threw it out.
Oh no! Sobered up.
Yeah, he's
So
like, what the
am I doing
hell?
this
I don't
for?
need that. Yeah, so the Donair costume was upstairs, and
Yeah.
somewhere in the world of
Yeah.
between seasons,
But
it got thrown out.
up where we are, it'd be like, where is it? It's sitting over by the Donair costume. Like the stuff that's up there and stuff would be like,
Yeah.
this is not professional up there
Yeah.
at all. There's not.
we got Al Coatsy up there.
You got Coatsy. Oh,
Yeah.
He's calling the games.
He sure is. Yeah.
Sure is. He does a great job.
He's a great voice
I think
in baseball.
Coatsy's booth it's down. Like there's
Yeah.
a
He's at the
separation-
back at far end.
Yeah,
of it.
Coatsy's booth.
And I think that's probably the
And
best.
what goes on in
Yeah.
Coatsy's booth in the game is much different than what goes on
Yeah.
in. But we're still technically
Doing the same
It's the
thing.
same game, but
yeah.
done very differently.
Right. And so I feel like there's a little bit of like when Coatsy walks by our
Yeah,
meeting.
we all get a little more quiet.
Right. We all like, yeah. Because I don't
Wow.
think it's a bit of a disrespect
Yeah.
to the heritage.
We're like
of
kids
that.
down in the den, making
Yeah.
jokes, and
Yeah.
then Dad comes by. And we're like,
Yeah. I know. I feel bad sometimes.
It's 8 minutes past 10, so I don't know if you guys have to get going.
What do you want to
so-
talk about?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Champagne problem.
Well, I just didn't know if you guys need to get on. If not, you can stick around still for the next hour.
Oh, yeah.
It's up to you guys and all that. And
I'm
could
fine. Whatever you guys want. I mean, why don't we go?
Wait, Tom and I are still going to be here for another hour. So.
Why don't you take what do you need?
Well, we
you go to the
do
lines
need to
there?
eventually talk to Estes. Which is
why don't we run
get
some
to that.
ideas
We're
about
not
Estes to the
nominated
guys?
this
These
year.
guys
Actually,
know all about awards
you've now
shows
been nominated.
Would this appearance get us like a nomination?
So,
Perhaps.
so we have the Estes, which is our award show.
Donovan,
You
you
have
want something?
STDs?
Yeah, something. You got to
Not
say it
quite,
slow.
thankfully.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout, by the way. Donovan Workun, Graham Neil with Edmonton Riverhawks, legends in the city, as Tommy said.
Yes.
Atomic Improv.
Yeah.
Anything? NAIT. Yeah, NAIT.
Wow,
NAIT RTA. Well, you're RTA. You got 2 grads here, for sure.
No, absolutely. I'm not in RTA.
Let's go.
Is that, what are you?
I'm in digital media.
Is it digital media at NAIT?
Are you working with Mike Bealey?
Where's
It's
that?
completely
Yeah.
different.
I love
Yeah,
Bealey.
it's
What
completely
school?
different. It's the School of Digital Media.
Oh.
DMIT.
Never mind. I was.
Hello.
Okay, yeah.
DMIT,
I'm
or
not
DMIT,
qualified
as we
to teach
call it.
broadcasters,
I thought that was
but
there.
Yeah, I teach mostly communication courses to web programmers. Mike Bealey, he's in there's a cinema stream. In fact, I work with Steve Hogle's son Zach.
Yeah.
No, it's a big and growing department, web coders and all kinds of stuff. So it's been a transition. I also produce live music story of shows.
That is true.
Yeah. So been busy with that. So a story about Johnny Cash, a story about that stuff. So I've been busy doing that as well. And Donovan and I host team building workshops.
Yes,
on
improv
using
based.
improv based,
Yeah.
which has been Donovan and I have actually been around the world doing those, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So hilarious. We'll talk about our travel stories when this is not broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. I'll just get to Hangout headlines with this, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Book your tee time by visiting theranchgolf.com. So we got the Estes, which is our award show, not STDs, Estes.
Right. The ranch is a good golf.
We love the
I got to
that's
go
great.
golf there. Right. I have a couple of rounds set aside for me.
Donovan,
so-
last
out
time I
there.
golfed with Donovan, he was knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
What happened?
Not quite unconscious,
shouldn't be
but it was
laughing.
close.
Why am I laughing?
It
Hit
was
with a
really
golf ball.
close. No,
Not
you
a-
didn't though.
I didn't hit you with the golf ball.
Yeah.
You got hit, but it was at a CTV too.
Yeah, the CTV tournament. I was walking.
CTV had a tournament?
I was walking
Back in
down
the
the
day.
fairway,
Way back in the day.
and somebody was on the next tee box, and I hear the twick, the king,
Yeah.
and then all I hear is white light, and then.
And then you were walking towards it, right? And I'm like, "Come back, Donovan!"
And I was like, what? So I kind of came to, and I see a ball about 10 feet away. So I'm walking up to the ball, and the guy's like, "Hey, that's my ball!" And I'm like, "You hit me in the head!" And it I had a CTV hat on, a dark blue CTV hat, and it hit here on the brim,
Yeah.
and burned the ink off the brim. There was a white streak where there was no more ink.
Yeah.
And it made me dumber.
And that's how we met Daryl McIntyre.
And that's-
so
yeah.
that was a great story.
It did. It made me dumber. I have not recovered.
I shouldn't be laughing.
This year, Donovan, I don't know if you're at the game, in the booth, if you've been
Yeah.
to the Remax.
Yeah, because I missed a few games this year. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Donovan's with the Great Outdoor Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Which
Great
had
venue.
in Edmonton had the 6 o'clock or lager featured
Yeah.
as a beer there with Alley Cat.
But
There
somebody
it
hit a
is.
foul ball, so the net, as Donovan calls it, is way far up in the broadcast booth.
What do you call
But
it?
the foul, it's a screen. I think.
Oh.
But the
But it is a
ball,
net.
someone hit a foul
I would
ball.
call
It
it a
came
net.
right through.
Oh, yeah, went right. I was
broadcast
there for
window,
that.
And I all bailed. And Steve missed that game because he normally stands right behind
He
me
would have got
with his
smoked by
arms
it.
folded, judging how I'm
Yeah.
working. Tisking, yeah. And the ball came right through, and just out of the corner of my eye, I just bailed, and it went zipping. Like I could hear it, like whoosh. Like it was crazy. I would have been.
Oh,
I used to work in that with the Capitals. I was up in that scoreboard
Yeah.
spot, and there was a couple times it
Is
came
that
through.
right?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
wow.
I think their net screen, whatever, was a little bit
the
lower
net
at the time.
screen. I don't know.
A net
that
screen,
doesn't
I
seem to do
dated
it,
her.
So yeah, a net
didn't-
screen.
yeah, it didn't go well.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was
You
just
got your
going to
awards.
inform about it's an award show that we're handing out awards to our listeners and what we've done for the past
Oh, it's
year.
your award show.
Yeah, we're doing our own
That's
award show.
amazing.
It's
That's
silly.
It's
good.
We
a
recognize
formal
how
night.
silly we can
We've
be.
rented out the Metro Cinema. 'Cause
Oh my
it's
gosh,
like an
big
actual
leagues, you
thing.
guys are doing.
We've ordered
Yeah.
trophies.
Wow.
I think you guys are going to be part of the vote, like the nominations for possible Hangout Guests of the
Well,
Year, as
who's
well as
hosting
Hangout of
this
the Year.
event? You guys, I guess.
It's-
Well, what's the voice of God we're doing?
Voice of God, I think, will be the key thing.
Yeah.
Different presenters will come out, and
Yeah.
that's the way
Nice.
it goes. So Yeah, you guys are now going to be part of, I think, Hangout of the Year and Hangout Guest of the Year.
Oh,
So.
like, because they
nice.
have the worst of.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's
absolutely.
right. Yeah, the raspberries of guests.
It's like time that I fell asleep or first,
Yeah, got here late. You were throwing up before the show today.
I was.
So
Yep.
hungover.
Yep.
Well, we had a
Very
guy
nervous.
a couple weeks ago actually leave this show twice to go. How did you put it yesterday? Make himself feel better.
Reverse peristalsis.
Mid-show.
Yeah.
He was feeling it. So
Yeah.
Donovan
that's
and
the show.
I, we can both attest to. We put our 10,000 hours in,
Yeah.
so we both actually we ended up quitting drinking at the same time.
Yeah, weirdly, we did.
Weirdly, after a
Trip to Mexico.
a gig,
Well done.
we got booked for a gig at an all-inclusive in Mexico.
Here's the thing that happened.
go
I
ahead.
literally got locked inside my hotel room.
our hotel room.
Yes, we were sharing a
No,
room.
so he got locked in. So we're at an all-inclusive resort
Yeah.
in Mexico
Yeah.
doing a corporate workshop.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things I want to tell you, but I came back to my room,
Yeah.
our room,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get in the room.
Yeah.
And Donovan was in the room.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, whatever. And so Donovan, trying to reason with Donovan when I'm getting back, didn't really work. So I had to go to the front desk, and we got a dude
They had to pop the hinges
to
off the
actually
door.
take the door. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
there
then
was
I'm like,
something wrong
I'm
with the lock.
home. And Donovan's still like pretty much asleep. Yeah. We actually had to take the door off to get into my hotel room.
Yeah.
Donovan was inside asleep.
Yeah. So there.
And then shortly after, Donovan quit drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, long story short.
I went another week.
Nice.
Real hard.
Oh, it's all inclusive. You got to take advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. I even had to switch all inclusives at one point, but let's move on.
mid trip.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
Oh, that's fair. That one. That got me off the air.
Let's just
Here.
say I didn't stop drinking.
That's right.
The hotel changed. That's it.
The hotel stopped serving.
Wow. Any tidbits of advice as we get set to host our first
Yeah,
formal
you're hosting
event?
the Great
my-
Outdoors Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
Or is that what you were doing, or what were you doing with Great Outdoors Comedy Festival?
It is awesome. I am so fortunate and happy and lucky to be a part of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. My job is I'm like the feel-good ambassador.
Okay.
So I dress like a park ranger. I welcome everybody in the gate. I'm making jokes, shaking hands in the lineup, and then I go on stage, make some jokes, and welcome everybody. Do some announcements, blah blah blah. Introduce a DJ, introduce the comedians, and then at the end of the night, I stand outside and I thank everybody for coming. And it is probably one of the most fun gigs.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much fun it is getting to meet like 10,000 people a day. I'm chatting and talking to. It's amazing.
The venue's cool. Obviously, the acts are great. You're adding to the vibe.
Yeah,
They're adding. Well, and you said they're adding more next
He
year.
goes to all the shows.
Hopefully.
He goes across. That's why he's missing some. He goes across Canada with it because they're doing. When did they do 8 this year?
8 this year. Yeah, and I think they're going to do. I don't know what the numbers will be next
Ottawa,
year.
Halifax, Vancouver.
Yeah, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, and Spokane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Calgary and Spokane were just this weekend, and Vancouver's in a couple weeks. And the guy Mike, the guy at Trickstar, who kind of brought me in, he sees it. He knows what it's like at the Riverhawks games.
Yeah.
He sees how much fun we have there.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of vibe he wants to pull in that. And you would be how many people recognize me from the Riverhawks games? Like I was in Calgary this weekend, and there must have been 24 people that were like, "Hey, Kaka, Riverhawks! It's the Riverhawks guy."
Dropping a caca.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So,
But you've been in a lot of stuff. You've been around. You've been seen. Yeah,
Oh,
people
yeah.
know. who
yeah,
you are.
people know me.
A lot
Yeah.
of people know you from Christmas in Wonderland.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pickles, the ranch hand.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
Obese loser at party.
Yeah, that's right.
That was that. Am I making that up?
That is the true. That was Mike. Then they changed it to like Dave or something. They felt bad for me. Well, and the funny thing is, when I didn't even audition.
Yeah, they
I
just
didn't even
handed
have
them
to
the part.
audition. I got this role, obese loser at party, and I did such a good job that the head of CTV in Toronto called me to thank me personally.
Yeah.
So not only did I not have to audition, apparently I'm a natural.
Yeah. Donovan's like, this was a movie of the week.
Movie of
or
the week,
something. Yeah,
shot
like,
here in Edmonton.
Got a part in movie of the week. I'm like, oh yeah, what are you playing? And Donovan's like, I'm just a guy. I'm like, yeah, what's the part? Well, it's
Just a guy.
just a dude that hangs out. Yeah, what is a character of a name and stuff? No, it's a didn't have to audition. I'm obese loser at party.
Yeah.
They just gave me the role.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, good for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm a natural.
You're a natural. A lot of brick. Remember when you were famous?
Oh my God! For 10 years, I did the brick commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were fantastic times. I've done a commercial for any product that you can think of. I think in CTV, I remember one year I got to drive a tank.
Oh, that's
What?
right too.
Yeah,
What?
I drove a
renovation thing, whatever.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, over top of some furniture.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, that's
Some
good.
contest.
Hey,
That's good.
That's real good.
Did you do
real
some
good.
stuff
Hogle's
for
getting some
modern?
idea right now with
For
the
what?
tank.
For modern measure? Or was
Well,
it-
yeah, for modern measure.
For Jared
Because
and
I'm a
Richie?
short, fat guy, right? So, like, you can't buy a suit off the rack.
Right.
And I know Jared from a million years ago.
Great guy.
Yeah, and so when I need a suit, that's where I go.
Yeah.
Because,
They're fantastic.
very little material on the legs,
And
lots of material around the jacket.
And what will they put in your liner?
The Rolling Stones logo is in all the liner of my suits.
Yeah.
Because I'm a giant Rolling Stones fan.
Couldn't tell.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't,
right.
Can't
How many
figure that
times
out.
have you seen the Rolling Stones?
31 now.
31 times.
Yeah,
Wow.
31 times. Yeah.
Jeez.
I bought Mick Jagger a small home.
His villa in
Yeah.
Mallorca.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicely
So
done.
tips for hosting though an event?
Energy,
What do you got?
man? All I got is energy.
Yeah.
Well, Graham and I host events together all the time. He's really good at keeping everybody on track, having all the facts, and making good jokes. And I'm just, I just have energy.
You just
And-
run with it?
Yeah, and I just go with whatever happens.
What's your plan?
For the event?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to figure that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
It's 3 weeks away. Don't have I've got nominations figured out, and I got to get the voting on that. The
Do
actual.
you welcome everybody? Like at the beginning? Is that sort of the thing?
Well, the thing is, well,
you guys
Dust-
hosting together?
I don't know. I haven't been told. Like,
Dustin
I
and
just-
Eric, they haven't been told. They'll be the first presenters. That's the face of
That's
EST.
the presenters.
Yeah.
But
They're-
who's going to do the opening welcome?
Well, those two.
Okay.
Because they're EST.
They're morning
the-
show guys,
They're the
right?
face. So I think they'll open and
yeah.
close the night.
Yeah.
And then we'll fill out in between with just
So-
various presenters, and then the
Yeah.
voice of God presenting, bringing
Now,
up those
are you a
people.
funny person?
No.
No. So then don't try to be funny.
No.
Just be you.
I'm very well. The thing is, for me, like I'm very dry and sarcastic,
Yeah.
and a lot of time I think people don't understand that I'm being very sarcastic,
Right.
And they actually believe me
You just
with what
come,
I'm saying.
Yeah. You come across.
So I just come
enjoy
across as a
an
dick.
intellect.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I just come across as an a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You totally
yeah,
are.
That's the vibe I picked up
yeah,
immediately.
right.
Yeah.
Bob.
I mean, you really.
I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. This guy's a-
This
yeah.
That's why Tommy's here.
Yeah.
No, I just
He
Well, he's
balances
not-
things.
He's not doing much better.
No.
You gotta switch it up.
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't
really
work
should.
having the same. Donovan
back
and
up,
I-
back up.
Yeah, we have
you
a
guys
good-
are just dick cup,
Donovan and I
dick cup.
play off stuff like straight man setup guy. Like you gotta
Yeah,
have
that's-
that, right? You
That's
can't have.
Mr. Richard Head to you, okay?
Yeah.
I prefer that.
Yeah. You just be you. People don't care. They just
Oh, it's going to be a ridiculous night. We have an after parties, and actually we
get drunk before you do it.
Oh, that always works.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're gonna get drunk. So actually, I think it's happening.
What?
One thing I've wanted to do here at EST is when we have those nights where it's going to get wild. The next day is EST stat days. We take our
Right.
own days
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've convinced. I think
Well, when
Dusty
nobody's
finally.
actually listening and you're just sitting in a room, I think you could take as many days off as you like.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
But Dusty is the one in charge, and
Yeah,
he
sure.
makes
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah.
And he's been against it. And so we were doing an event at Century Casino for the Super Bowl.
was nice.
And it was a watch party. And I went to Dusty. He was like, the next day, maybe we shouldn't work because the morning show starts at 6 a.m. I was
Yeah,
like,
let's
that's
just run
probably
the
not the
best
best.
That's
Let's
way
do a
too early.
stat. He's like, we got to be on after Super Bowl. So his plan was we broadcast from the hotel. So we got a hotel room, stayed at the hotel, and did
Yeah.
it there. First thing he says to me that morning when he sees me is, we should have got that stat day. And it's like, well, yes, I didn't
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
So then I was trying to convince him for a stat because these awards are happening on a Tuesday because Dusty does CFL on TSN, so we can't do weekends. And I tried getting, hey, let's do a stat, or at the very least, the morning show doesn't go on there.
Yeah.
6 to 9, like we could come in for this show, The Hangout,
Yeah.
and have a great time.
Yeah.
And then a listener said, that day it could be called The Hangover.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great call. Yeah.
And Dusty, I brought it up to him yesterday. He's like, I don't know. But then today, I think he's on board.
Starting to feel it.
That on the 18th there will be no morning show.
Yeah.
But we'll all come in and we'll rotate and we'll do the hangover.
Well, sure, you can bring a
to
little
recap the EST.
greasy breakfast in here.
course.
You know,
and this
maybe
is
some
just
Popeye chicken
This
sandwiches.
is going to
Yes.
come right out of to go back to the Riverhawks.
Yeah.
This is going to come right out of left field. But as
Baseball.
professional
Well done.
broadcasters,
Yeah.
have you ever thought? This is just hear me out on this. Have you ever thought about not drinking so much that you're going to puke?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
So-
you know what I mean? Just sort of
Yeah,
saying
yeah, yeah.
like maybe I won't. Yeah.
You don't go to a Grammys and not get plastered at the after party.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
That's my experience. You don't go to the Oscars and you go to the like. There's an after party and you want to have a good night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, it's
needs
not
to
even.
be
It's okay.
crying.
It's also not even the drinking.
And then why
it's
drink-
also the staying up.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
the other part to this.
That's
Is
it.
that if they have to be here at 5 a.m,
Might as well just keep rolling into it, right?
Yeah, then you can
pull
do
it
that.
on West Montgomery.
there is also
legend.
in one of our awards at the Estes is Gutsiest Performance of the Year. It's who came in and had to deal with various levels of gutsiness, but some of them is
Self-induced
self-induced
Up
pain.
your guts, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you
Well,
just...
and why have one beer when you can have all of them, right?
Thank you.
I want to go to 2 all-inclusives, not just one.
Yeah.
What about having Donovan and I pre-tape that morning show, and we'll just talk about what we imagine would not have happened, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be like, what a
Brilliant.
time.
We could have a live cam at your apartment or your house or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah, and then you guys can
Record
just...
We'll give you the keys. You could come on in that
Come on in.
September
Or just-
18th, and
Or
the
we'll
show's
just,
yours.
we'll just come in at like 3 a.m. and just like do a bunch of voiceovers. Like, well, who possibly could win?
Yeah.
Like, what would be a winner? Like, what?
Give
would,
them an example of
me
like some
some.
of our categories.
Well, this show might win Show of the Year. It's
Sure.
between this and Dusty's show and Eric.
right, so you got a 50-50 chance?
Sure.
No, there's like
50-50.
But I think the favorites right now,
right.
I think the 3 that are I think could win. It's the Nielsen show, it's the Hangout, or it's the pregame show.
But what if you just
Pre-game
pre-taped it and
pre-post.
said, "Oh my gosh, like what a great time! It was such a great win
Oh.
for the Hangout show," right? And you just edited it in, like
Yeah.
you know
The
what I mean?
Simpsons episode.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
going to the
that's
Super
the
Bowl where the Atlanta Falcons
Right,
will be taking
exactly.
on the Denver Broncos.
Right.
That's it.
what I'm
That's
saying.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Do that.
We definitely do that.
Or what about this? Just sort of do it with IVs in, you know, hooked up and you know hydrated and
Get
stuff.
get a
Good idea.
liter of saline in you there. Yeah.
If anyone wants to sponsor that knows
See?
the IVs, we'll do that then. We'll do that
You
sponsorship.
got a spa in the basement here.
Yeah.
It's a banya.
A
They
what?
hit you with the leaves. The
No,
palm
it's
leaves.
one of those?
Yeah.
That's why those Eastern European dudes were standing out front. I was like, what?
Were they ripping darts?
Oh, they also have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Victor.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that
they're our
true?
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was wondering who those
got a
dudes are.
couple
I'm like, where the hell am I going? Well, I'm going to get murdered in here. I'm in this weirdest industrial park in the city.
We don't
next to the dump.
I buy all my heavy equipment.
Yeah,
right beside me,
sure,
too.
sure.
So I love the district.
Yeah, it's really good.
just great.
Really good.
This is what the others were trying to do with Ice District. is
Yeah,
build
very,
this area.
very walkable. Yeah,
It is.
got a
yeah.
front end loader.
What's its score? It's a 90 on the walkable score.
Yeah, I got a front
You got
end
Princess
loader.
Auto over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a hot dog stand.
The
That's
only
out-
Mr. Subs left in the world is just down the street.
Yes.
So it is
Absolutely, yeah.
fantastic.
I got
Mr.
a
Subs are
700
great.
pack of bungee cords at
Yeah.
Princess Auto the other day.
Hey,
So
don't even
handy.
start about Uncle Wiener's just
Yeah,
down the road.
That's right.
Oh, that one moved.
Oh, no!
That one's now on like
Bianca Armour.
137th
Yeah,
or something.
Bianca
And that one moved too.
What? No!
Those both moved from the area. It's like they don't want to be biased.
Donovan, we
F this place.
we were gonna have expired Cheerios today.
Yeah,
but now we
you
can't.
guys. I'm done. You guys suck.
What year did your Cheerios expire?
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Still shelf
Yeah.
stable.
Why is this yogurt hard?
But look, it was only $1.50.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you stare at me when I said banya?
I'm thinking like, what? I'm not even.
Yeah, he was excited. He wanted to eat it. He was expecting.
That's
Okay,
what
is that
the
what
hell
that
a
is? It just-
banya was.
I just thought it was just a real, like, irregular slaw. It's like, no,
I
that's
thought it was a
banya.
rub and
Like,
tug. But,
No, that's actually down the street, legitimately.
well, you would know.
no,
What was it called? Those?
It was
Temptations?
Seductions.
Seductions,
And I
yeah.
went online to look because we were talking about it on the
yeah,
other show.
just to have a look, just to see what their rates were.
Here's a few things that
curious.
they do have semi-parking available. So that's what they say.
yeah.
And there are hockey specials,
Well,
but
as
they
you,
can't tell you.
get, as you get older, you can only do
That's right.
semi-parking.
That's all Donovan gets is semi-parking. So now.
And there's hockey specials where they can't tell you the price online. You have to come in store to
Yeah,
find
for
out.
sure.
So I just wandered in, just, because whatever. And then
Yeah.
4 hours later, I
Yeah.
got back into my semi.
Yeah, down a
2,500
whole lot of
down.
fluids.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's where you need the saline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I
God.
dated a nurse who would steal the saline and
Oh.
she would do it for hangovers.
Yeah, well, it works.
Yeah, it was great.
Damn
It's
right.
becoming a thing, I think, in the States. There's like a store you can go to
Yeah.
where you go in and you get the treatment.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's one coming to Canada or something, and it
Great.
might happen. So
I did a video.
So you got that. Why not
I did
drink?
like an industrial film with the paramedics, and that one guy was so hungover. That's what he did. Went and sat in the van and in
Donovan,
the ambulance.
one of your first great television gigs
Yeah.
was when you worked for Access Television.
Yeah.
And for people that had to learn
That was that, yeah.
English.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody, it was very confusing because Donovan would play like it would be a scenario, and he'd be riding his bike. Then he'd fall off his bike, and so it's like, oh, I just had met Donovan. Like, this guy's super funny, and I'm like, it was almost like,
But the acting was terrible.
Is this comedy sketch like kind of meta? Because it would be like the paramedic, and Donovan would be like, I think I have a pain in my arm.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
because it was like for people to learn conversational English.
Right.
Oh.
So, and it was like a huge series, won like Ampia awards.
Oh, he was
but it was
mobbed
like, I
because
called
of
it
that.
the "Do you have a quarter?" Like, you know, like that's how I had to talk for all of these videos.
yeah.
Damn.
And it was weird.
I
That
never
is
thought
weird.
Donovan could string sentences together.
That was oddly, that was right after I got hit in the head with a golf ball.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, "Can I have some more cheese, please, if you don't mind?"
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Really hitting those tees, huh?
Yeah, oh, you had to go hard.
Yeah.
It was
and
like,
then they're like, you're actually in an insurance office.
yeah. And I'd be like, "Why do I smell cake? My left arm hurts." You know.
Well, people need to know the
So
actual sayings.
what kind of crowd are you expecting?
How
for
many
your show?
people?
Oh,
Right
yeah.
now,
That place
I've
holds
got some
like
more
500
tickets.
or something.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we'll get there.
Up in the balcony.
I don't think we'll go into the balcony just
300.
yet. I think we're looking at maybe like
75.
no, we're like closer to 150, 175.
Oh, that's pretty
Nice,
good. You'll get 200 at
Tickets
least.
sold, and like so we still have like 2.5 more weeks of selling
yeah.
tickets
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. So
You'll
we'll get
get
a little
walk-up.
bit of push.
Absolutely.
The walk-up's huge always,
Yeah.
absolutely. We have a staff meeting today. We'll discuss what we're gonna do for red carpet and
Fantastic.
stuff. And,
Yeah,
you know, and
that's good.
how we're gonna deal with all of that stuff.
You guys
and-
are hitting it up on the social medias and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
We're really into social
yeah.
media.
actually with that, we're trying to reach 10,000 subs to our channel.
Yeah.
Wow. And what are you at now?
We're 101 away.
Oh, that's not bad.
Please subscribe. We want to do it by
Oh
next
no!
week.
Wait, now 102 away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're trying to do that by next
Seductions was really
Tuesday.
big into subs and
Seductions?
toms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And rubs.
Year
Yeah.
2 of EST starts next Tuesday. We'd love to be at 10,000 subs. So if you're
My friend-
watching this, please sub if you're not subbing already.
My friend
Or go
went to
take
a-
your partner's account and sub.
My buddy
for us.
went to a massage therapist place one time in Toronto, and the lady was rubbing him down, and then she went, "Banana handshake?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah."
And
so
then?
I refer to it now as the banana handshake.
Wow.
Yeah.
She offered.
Yeah. Yeah. It was part of the deal. I mean, he
Oh, okay.
had to, it wasn't like just out of the blue.
He knew this going in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay, well, like,
Yeah.
okay.
But he called it a banana handshake. So.
That's
Okay, so that's how you bring down a show. That's how you slow things right down.
Sometimes you have
No.
to learn from a negative example
Yeah.
of what's going to hit with the audience.
Yeah.
right?
There's
So-
people taking notes right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
Somebody
What are you
loved
gonna?
that.
So are you gonna try? Like, do you guys present together? Or you present
I have no
No,
idea.
I'm the one
I mean,
that,
I just-
so I want I might not present at all. I might put all the shows together. I'm thinking you and Jasmine.
And what are you gonna wear?
And that's-
I'm
wear
going full tux.
Yeah, oh, sure.
He's
made
got
to
a
measure.
tux.
Modern measure.
I already have one, but if I needed one, I would go see the guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
Go see Jared and Richie.
Yeah.
I need to get something.
Go
I haven't
see
figured
Jared
out any
Ritchie.
of my.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no time to get
2.5
one done, I don't
weeks.
think.
No, I think that's a little short. But
Yeah.
you might be able to rush it.
So
You literally live across the street
Oh, do you?
where is
Wow.
it?
in the city of Edmonton Tower.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's your
I
address?
don't know where it is.
Yeah. What condo number are you?
Yeah.
Well, it's
His palatial
with that,
estate.
we actually did a couple of shows. We live in the same building.
You guys both live there?
Yeah.
He
Like
moved
the
in,
Odd
yeah.
Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not same.
I never
Same
see him.
floor?
No.
No.
He's too scared of heights.
I hate heights.
Oh, you're real high up?
Yeah.
The penthouse.
No, not that high.
No. And you're like 4th floor?
Yeah.
Ninth. But
Ooh,
yeah,
ninth.
There's there's a strategy there.
But we've done a couple shows on our patio, like or amenities
Amenities
floor
floor.
there, so people
Yeah, I
know
know
where
that
it
one.
is.
I've been in that building.
so people know.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
We had Jonathan Torrens and Alice
cool.
Moran in
Wow.
one day.
See the
during
guy
Stanley
from
Cup.
Jono-Vision?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Great guy. They're fun. I don't know how like improv and comedy and like thinking that quickly on the fly. Like he's brilliant. You guys are fantastic. I'm just in awe of it.
Oh yeah.
And-
you should be.
Yeah.
I think ain't Don?
Huh? What? Sorry. I got hit in the head with a golf
Yeah.
ball.
You should
Made
tell
me
us.
What kind of golf ball?
I was a Titleist, yeah.
Kirkland one?
No,
Kirkland
not
was
even
mine.
Kirkland.
It was a Kirkland.
I still
No,
got
it was
Kirkland
a-
on my forehead.
It was a pink lady.
Yeah, the noodle.
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of times I've been hit in the head with a noodle.
Oh boy.
That's
At
a banana
Seductions.
handshake. Yeah, it's seductions. Yes. You
There's
go
a
down to the.
apparently dental offices have this on. That's what I was told.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't know. That's right. Live. Oh, us in a dental office.
This show. Yeah, I think it's
Yikes.
funny.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Well, it's. I don't know.
All right.
I
we're
don't
done.
think we've said anything that
No, I just think it's
I think it's
fine.
all perfect. Yeah, it's just a banana handshake. You're just shaking hands with a banana.
Absolutely.
That's all that is.
Yeah, plantain, maybe.
Sure.
Stop it. What? You're the one that said dongya. What do you call that thing?
Banya.
Banya.
It says it on the door.
Oh, they didn't read that. Banya. That's weird. So they get a spruce bough and they beat you with it.
Yeah.
After they really soap your back hard. Like these men, these hairy Eastern European men.
Oh, there's ladies down there too.
Yeah.
There's also a property management group downstairs, and I think the guys
They're related.
They run that.
Yeah.
They run that part of it, but it's all
Your
connected.
rent too. They do.
That's
Right. Hit you with a what is it? A spruce branch?
Yeah, bow.
Yeah.
Banya.
The banya. You can watch
Yeah, they've got
TV
a
in there.
spa, Russian banya, and dry sauna, massage,
I like
and
that the selling
acupuncture in
point
Edmonton.
is you can watch TV in there.
Yes, you
You
can.
can watch
Do
TV.
they have? You could do the Russian banya, book a big and cozy room to celebrate birthdays up to 8 people.
My 4-year-old
and private
is gonna
events
have a
enjoying
banya in
Swedish
there.
dry saunas.
Swedish
You know,
dry.
I should have asked, when does this show start? When are we on?
It's
There seems to be not a lot of content on
Well,
this thing. Is this an actual thing?
I will say
Because I know
that,
there's a microphone, but it just seems like none of this stuff was relevant.
well, we started the show off on a fun note, anyways.
So
at
the
the
show
start.
started already?
Wow.
I thought
Yeah.
This was just a pre-show.
Talking about well, mate.
When is the real stuff? Where we talk about
The real stuff comes at 11 o'clock when we're off the air.
Oh,
Yeah.
Donovan, who's
That's-
going to
that's-
play
it's-
second pair right shot D? What do you think's going to happen?
Oh, I think what's happening right now is they're putting a lot of things together. They're
Yeah.
making deals in the off season.
Sure.
Been some controversy going in there, but I'm really looking forward to this season because I think they're going to give 110% out there.
Sure. What do you think they could really help the Oilers improve with their defense? I hear their Corsi's low.
Yeah, well, what they need to do is really focus on the fundamentals there. They got to get back to old school hockey. You got to cover your zone. You got to check your man. You got to really work hard to keep things moving back and then moving forward.
No.
And you're not winning games if you're not putting the biscuit in the basket.
No kidding. Now, there's a couple of names being bandied about,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And, why don't
Yeah.
you take us through the big names that we
this
that,
year.
You know what? That you and I have, that these
Yeah.
are names that maybe the average fan isn't familiar with.
Brendan Checkworth is out
Yeah,
there.
sure, yeah.
He's coming right out of Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
Good kid, looking
Sure.
good. Only got one leg. But
Right.
but think about how quick you can turn on just
And
one
that's
left
his
leg.
advantage, right?
Yeah. Oh, he spins. He doesn't wear a skate. He's wearing a sharpened thimble on just
Right.
that one big toe that he has. And he
So
is
his good leg only has a
one toe, just one toe. He's just he's like anyway.
Yeah.
He's doing really good up there, Brendan.
and the other person. This was a shock when you're telling me on the bus over when we were on the bus ride. And the
Cortland Theinerwine.
Yeah.
He is Cortland.
Who?
Cortland Theinerwine.
Cortland?
Yeah,
With
he.
a D?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
And what's the last name?
Theinerwine.
Right now, he is not Canadian.
No, he's
Now,
from
where's he-
Michigan. He's from Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. But originally, he played in Europe.
Yeah, he's Swedish.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, he's Croatian. So he body hair since he was 4, so he's been working on a playoff beard from birth.
Like a playoff body.
Yeah, he's just like a Sasquatch.
Absolutely. Now, I know, Donovan, there's a lot of people listening
There's two.
from,
There's two
from
people.
Sweden.
Oh, right.
And
Right
I'm
here.
wondering if you could explain a little bit in Swedish, a little bit about what was his name again?
Yeah,
Cortland
Theinerwine. Yeah, that's right.
Close
Yeah.
So
enough.
just for his fans
Yeah.
of Sweden, but all his fans are living in Croatia.
Yes.
But if you could talk in Swedish a little bit about what his chances to make
Sure,
the
Cortland förtänkilde kakren färden hela man första hört och läser sin kirabam förtykertoven. Jag hörde så snöj brobusha. I threw in some Croatian there for you.
I heard that
as well.
Because they go back and forth.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just mix the two languages
Yeah.
together.
Ja, jag förten kuke, jag hubusha smöj och bratta hyrta karda kaffen. Jag shumma jag brappa ju hyra.
You're talking Swedish.
That's right, Crow
that's the whole
Swedish.
thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's
But
good.
other than that, I think the Oilers are going to take the cup this
I
year.
think so too. Good. Well, thanks. You know what? That's a real insiders. You know what? A lot of times now,
We call it the scoop.
well, a lot of times now we're going to see this on social media. People putting this out, right? We're
Yeah.
going to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You're hearing the rumblings.
Yeah. I got the rumblings now
Yeah.
because I didn't get a slider or a glizzy.
Yeah. Thanks. See, we're true.
You
Insiders.
get this at a Riverhawks game. And with the baseball game going on, it's. Do you guys like? How often do you guys do improv together besides Riverhawks games?
And right now,
or like you guys?
Not very often right now because we're so busy doing Riverhawks games.
Pretty big deals.
Yeah.
So
what else are you teaching at NAIT? So he's got that going on. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing the Oktoberfest for the Oilers group. I host that as well.
Is that why the big tent's going
it's
up?
getting up. It starts the end of next week.
Nothing says Oktoberfest like September.
Well,
But that's
has
when
to
it
start
happens.
in
Yeah.
September. Yeah.
Also, when I
the
saw
wedding.
the tent going up, I was just like, cha-ching.
Brand new tent. It's even bigger than last. I think last year's was 10,000. This one's over 15. I think
looks big.
It's
you
going to
got
be
the
huge.
whole. I don't even know what
This
it's
is the
called.
scoop.
The outfit.
Lederhosen, funny hat.
Lederhosen.
Oh, pardon me.
With a guts beard on my guts bard, I think it's called on my
Do you
hat.
use German words at all?
I do. I sing Ein Prosit, which is the beer drinking song. Ein Prosit. Anyway,
Yeah.
So I'm
go
Ukrainian, but I've learned everything I can
go
about
Ukrainian.
the German tradition of Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Donovan also makes excellent butter tarts.
Oh,
as
boy.
well. So he
Actually?
really does, yeah.
Apparently.
So you do crafts? You make butter tarts? Like
I'm what they call a Renaissance
Yes,
man.
a raconteur. Absolutely.
Esquire.
Yes. He makes pierogies.
I like to bake and cook.
He does like to bake and cook.
Yeah.
Donovan actually had
Yeah.
one job in his entire life.
Yes.
And that
I was
was-
18. I worked for almost 2 years in a bakery.
Yeah, the IGA
Really?
bakery.
Yeah, it's the only job I've ever had. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
But you make great butter tarts.
I do make.
So you were good at one
I
of
do
them.
make a fairly good butter. I
Got
mean,
a lot
butter
of
tarts
yeast
are
infections
easy.
at that bakery,
Yeah. Oh,
so-
whoa, ouch! A lot of monastery. Never mind.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm stumped.
Yeah. You ever had a real job?
No.
No. Good.
Well,
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Like what? You must have done something.
Worked at Costco for a few years.
There you go.
In the
For
tire
a few
shop.
years. Oh,
Yeah.
tire
boy.
shop.
Yeah.
Probably. Which one?
Yellowhead.
Oh, the
149.
classic.
Nice.
Yeah.
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 Throw some nitrogen in there.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a Costco advantage.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? When you buy
Yes.
Costco tires, you have to buy a set of 6.
Yeah, which is
seems
weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
whatever.
Like, I don't
You've
know.
been had.
Yeah, like it just seems everything.
A free hot dog.
Yeah.
So glizzy.
$1.99 glizzy with a pop.
Costco actually, Costco, they sell coffins. They
Yes, they do.
They sell everything.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you have to buy the coffins in a 3-pack. Really?
Yeah, so get ready for that
Like, I don't
murder,
know.
murder,
yeah,
suicide.
But they're cheaper.
Well,
they're way cheaper.
It's volume.
Yeah. Well, it's just, you store it on the side.
Yeah.
The family's
My-
getting it. You
my-
pass it on to
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
next generation.
Yeah, my grandfather
They don't have to worry
built
about
his
it.
own coffin, and it sat in his basement for a long time, and then he got creeped out and sold it. So that's weird.
That is a corner gas episode legitimately.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah, Oscar built one, and then he like stood in it, and then he got creeped out by it, and he made it a bookshelf.
Makes sense.
Right.
Donovan's old improv partner was
Yeah.
the writer on Corner Gas.
Yeah.
Really?
Paul Mather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
Paul Mather.
Paul Mather.
Oh, okay.
They were the original Atomic Improv. I used to see them
Yeah.
at the sidetrack back in the day, and I'm like, wow, these guys are terrible.
Terrible.
But then Donovan and I became
They
friends.
kept trying.
Yeah, it was all you. You tried so hard.
Yeah.
I love it. No,
Yeah.
they were great. I remember before I lived here, coming to see the sidetrack industry night there, Sunday nights at the sidetrack with Donovan and Paul were
Yeah.
a legend.
Yeah, we'd write
back
a
for old
dirty
guys like this.
song every
Amazing.
week.
And there's so many people that still recognize.
Yeah,
like,
it's so funny.
From
and that was like
so-
1990 to 94
Yeah,
kind of range.
Donovan.
So
Just
I quit
picture
working in a bakery.
Picture a guy with 2 earrings and a Club Monaco sweatshirt, and there he is on stage, and a kind of a like a goatee.
Yeah,
maybe?
sure. Yeah, that's right. The Van Dyke
The Van
is what it's
Dyke.
called.
Van
Dyke.
Dyke,
Yeah.
The sidetrack was legendary,
Was.
apparently.
How would you know? You're like 10. Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I lived across the street from where it used to be.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People would always talk about it, like
Yeah.
the music acts and.
Yeah.
oh my God. Yeah.
It was great.
Didn't
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones go in there one?
Well,
Some of them
it's
did.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually, so because I'm a giant Rolling Stones fan, the owner, Claire, was like, the Rolling Stones are coming to perform at Cummo Stadium, 2 shows. We want you to do an improv show, but it has to be all Rolling Stones related stuff, which was fine for me. I
Yeah,
could do
right
that.
up your alley.
So it was packed. It was huge. It was full one night right after the concert. I ran there, did my show, and then I heard that some of the guys were out in the lineup. So I ran out, and all their backup band was out there, like Chuck Leavell, Bernard Fowler, Mick Jagger's backup singer. All the Uptown Horns were in lineup. So I was like, I'll get you in. So I cleared a table for him. I sat them near the stage. I said, whatever you want to drink or eat, just tell him Donovan's tab. I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And then about a half an hour after that, and they were drinking and having a good time, I was like, how about you guys get on stage and play with the band? And they did. And then I drove them in shifts back to the Hotel McDonald in my Dodge Colt.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what city. Oh, the next day it was in Edmonton. I was front row, and Chuck Lavelle, the keyboard player, he's like, Donovan! He's waving. I'm like, well, that's pretty good.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah. And so then Mick Jagger's backup singer gave me his special registration name for the hotel, and I would call him, and he would give me upgraded tickets for a few of the shows across Canada.
I love it.
So basically best friends with the Stones.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know who
Completely.
Donovan's best friends with?
Yeah. Well, I actually met Charlie Watts, too, backstage
Really?
at Madison Square Garden. So that was pretty good. But I think Graham is alluding to something else.
Oh, it's a
you want to tell it?
Tell it.
It's a great story.
It is good. Yeah.
So
Out of tragedy.
out of tragedy,
Or
that-
something fantastic.
No, I love that. See, every good story has stakes. If you remember, now you're sort of the hook. If you're trying to build something up, now we've got something. Now you're leaning. So so Donovan and I were hosting outside Commonwealth Stadium when they're doing the fundraiser for Fort McMurray fire.
Ah, yes.
Like back, I don't know, like 7 years ago, and there was a little stage and there's some stuff. And then inside, of course, was a
The big show.
fundraising concert. And the headliners, I don't remember who the headliner was.
Nickelback?
Nickelback.
Yeah.
So we finish off on the stage outside. And I said to Donovan, well, why don't we go in and watch the concert?
Yeah.
And Donovan's like, I don't want to go watch the concert. Donovan's he's not super social.
Yeah.
But anyway, you'd think he is, but he's not really. So, but I said, well, we should go in. I said, just come in and watch some of it. And he said, and I'm going to get the quote right or not, but basically along the lines of he doesn't care for the musical stylings of the Nickelback. Right? So that's basically what he said.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, well.
But I went.
Well, we went. I said, you know what? This was pre all-inclusive. And I said, well, I'll go in, I'll buy a beer. He's like, oh, well, then, okay, sure. Now you got me.
Yeah, hooked.
So because we had wristbands, we could go in. We were kind of
Anywhere. We'd go anywhere.
VIP.
not quite anywhere,
Yeah.
but we went in. And so then I see the fellows from the band Nickelback, and who I, covering stuff for Arts Entertainment. You sort of have a little bit. And one of the guys from Nickelback is sort of like not related to my wife's family, but kind of. So we have a sort of a history there, right? So I start chatting to Ryan and to Chad, side sort of there and stuff. And
I'm standing
Donovan's
away from
standing
you.
right, sort of near me and
Yeah,
stuff.
letting him do his
And
thing.
well, it's not really my thing. I'm just saying, how's it going, right? What else did I say? What's new?
Right,
Like
sure.
all the good questions and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What we're talking
How about that weather?
How about the weather?
Nailed it.
I was talking about a family wedding that Ryan couldn't make because he had to head a concert at the O2 Arena. And I'm
big
like,
deal.
fair, no big deal.
Yeah.
So then I said, hey, this is my friend Donovan. And I left out the part, who hates you, right? I didn't say that because I thought the last thing Donovan wants to do is
fight.
come and,
I'm gonna have to
talk
fight
to the
Nickelback.
guys from Nickelback.
Yeah.
And I said, by the way, this is my friend Donovan. And Ryan says, oh, hey, Donovan. And he stops. He's like, wait a second. He goes, are you a comedian?
He says you're the improv guy.
Well, no, I think he did.
Did he?
He wasn't that sophisticated.
Okay.
He said, are you a comedian? And Donovan says, well, yes, I am. And I'm like, look at him.
Did I say it like that?
Kind of, yeah. Anyway, and so then he's like, oh my God, like you used to open up for us. Like when we would do these colleges, you would be on before we would come on. And Donovan for sure would never wait to see the college band that's playing. So he would not have any idea that he opened up because him and Paul used to tour across Canada performing at colleges.
Yeah.
And they're like, Chad and I used to, Chad, come on, Chad, this is the guy and
Yeah.
stuff, right? And he was so excited to meet Donovan. It's just like, yeah, these stupid effers that used to come on and do the makeup stuff. Chad's like, oh, so and then I'm just like the guy that knows Nickelback, me, takes about 5 steps back and watches these three, like, blah, 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 and then Donovan stops short, being like, I love your music. And everything. So now, anyway,
Stay true to yourself.
fast forward, we watch the whole show. Every time, like I talk about Nickelback, or
I cried during Photograph.
Exactly. I'm like, you're backstage with your bodies up. Number one, never say anything bad about.
I will never
that.
say anything
He
bad about
loves
Nickelback again.
Only because they love.
They loved him.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
right.
They
It's
loved
just-
him.
Yeah,
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good,
Yeah.
hey?
Yeah,
and you
I
still
think
never
so.
said that you love them to them.
No.
He
See,
would though.
See, that's you've got the power. Still. You still have
It's a
hand,
weird
as I believe they
dynamic
call.
I've got it in that relationship.
Well done.
He's sort of aloof. He's like, they're big fans of me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's-
Let's
it
face
is.
facts.
Yeah.
That's the way to
I
go with
just thought it
it.
was
You don't
funny.
switch then. You don't change then and let them know. That
I'll
you're-
never
yeah.
say another
But
bad
just
thing about
like
Nickelback. Love 'em.
arms folded when when can we go, Graham? To like, ooh, well, we better. Ooh, this one. Is this off Silver Side Up? Yeah. So, it's like,
You didn't stand front of the stage like this the entire show.
Took my top off. I sat on his shoulders, lifted my top.
yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Classic.
that's beautiful.
I do need to get to Road Warriors, which is presented by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers, custom manufacturing of heavy haul trailers for mining, oil, gas, equipment, highway transportation, quality, innovation, integrity, trusted by the leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads. AccuSteel.ca. We look at some of the games that are happening tonight in sports. Still
I think
quiet
Graham
night.
and Donovan should tee up all tonight's games.
Well, what do we have tonight and going on in sports?
I don't know. I have no
Well,
idea.
Don, we got baseball going.
Oh,
and,
we got
major
the-
leagues.
yeah.
And so the big matchup for first place is, of course, between whom?
Yeah, it's the Dodgers out of New York. The New York Dodgers.
They just moved, relocated as of 6 a.m. today.
Against the Camden Millionaires.
Oh boy, who doesn't love them? Now, Camden, where's Camden located?
Camden in the beautiful city of London, Ontario.
Yes, wow, Camden in London. Hey?
Yeah.
Amazing. And what do we got to watch for there?
You got to watch for some baseball, Graham.
Yeah, what do you think the score might be?
It's 42-7.
Whoa, bold.
It's going to be a blowout.
Bold. I love it as well. How many outs in that inning?
400.
400. Great.
I don't know what's going on in baseball. Who's playing now? Come on, let's get the.
They're all playing.
Riverhawks.
Let's help everybody get some real.
Yeah.
Everybody
It's
knows
quite-
already who's playing. They got the schedule.
Oh, you got the Blue Jays taking on the Red Sox later tonight. That's
wow.
nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's baseball. It's quiet. It's tomorrow starts picking up.
Tomorrow,
a little bit more in sports. We got the
when's the
Tour
World
Championship.
Series?
Did you actually?
What? No, I said when.
Oh, when's the World
Yeah.
Series? I thought you said I went to the World Series.
No,
We would go.
I'd go. I'd love to
we'd
go.
love to go.
Just for the spectacle.
We also got college football coming up this weekend.
Oh boy, that's
week one
exciting.
continues.
Well, college football's bigger than NFL, isn't it? In the
In
States?
certain spots,
Yeah.
NFL is bigger.
Yeah.
But there are certain spots, like if you go to Alabama,
Right.
that they're gonna love their Roll Tide
Sure.
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than the NFL and stuff
Have
like
you ever
that. But
seen the
no,
Virginia Tech entrance to Enter Sandman?
That's pretty
I want to
fantastic.
do that for the Riverhawks.
Yeah.
I want the.
But we
I
want to do like the chicken dance.
Yeah, that's exactly
Da,
right.
na, na,
yeah.
na, na, na.
Yeah, and then like
then all the
just
players
orphan
run out.
baby
Yeah.
shark, and they're all like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Mama Shark!" Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You guys
I wanna
watch
see
the
that.
Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders
Documentary?
nope.
No, I do.
should.
What's
We
it
follow them
on?
on Instagram though.
What's it about?
What's it on? What's it about? Like, how would I go watch
Netflix.
this?
Well,
is it on?
Yeah,
Okay.
Netflix.
You might have heard of
So,
it. Little
yeah,
streaming service.
streaming service, and
yeah.
it basically takes you through the process. Did you watch it? Don?
No, I'm
think
too
it's-
afraid to watch it.
No, it's excellent.
Is there
It's
like
excellent.
Real Housewives meets cheerleaders kind of thing?
Yeah,
There's
it's a
drama,
real, it's a-
crying.
yeah,
Oh, is it like about the modern ladies trying to get into
right
them?
now, and it's about the. I think it's a fascinating study in human psychology.
Are they ever going to let men be in the?
Yes.
Other than Robin Williams
Yes,
when he was the
absolutely,
first
yeah.
man.
You know,
to be in the-
this is a Donovan Workun. I've danced with the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
cheerleaders when
nice.
they
Good
came
for
to
you.
town.
That's cool.
But the whole sort of I would recommend it in looking at it as a psychological sort of study on what this institution, what people will do to be part of an exclusive club, and how hard these women work for very little pay.
Yeah, 'cause they don't get
and what
paid
it's
very
like-
much,
right,
do they?
But it's
Yeah.
just sort of like, how do you? This has been compared to a cult. They have some characters and stuff. I really liked it. Donovan, have you watched the Nickelback documentary?
I have not. I've been too busy to watch what they call the
Wow.
television.
Well, I'm going to tell you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to get you off Ryan and Chad's good butts now next time I
hear
see
it's
them, so-
not the greatest thing ever, or what?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I just think that they sort of kind of skip over sort of some of the more kind of hard hitting stuff, but whatever, So.
Yeah.
Hard hitting stuff with their beef in the Nickelback.
Well, I mean, I think that the
karate instructor.
there are some stories that I can't repeat from them, but yeah, I just feel like just the sort of the change of Chad, sort of
his morphing from regular Chad to superstar Chad.
a little bit.
Is
and
this
I think-
pre-post Avril Lavigne? Is there the pre-Chad, post-Chad
They
with
do
Avril?
talk to Ryan Vicadell, the drummer that got sort of ousted from the band, and they
Right.
do deal with that. But I do think that they could have dealt with certainly a little bit more on a deeper level. To do
When
that.
did they oust a drummer? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Was he spinning
Ryan.
too hard and taking Chad's thunder?
It was a whole. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's a whole thing.
Graham, well, you were at CTV for a long time,
I
like,
sure was, yeah.
and in that building, and wasn't Nickelback based? Like, they were almost a house band around Alberta, right? For
Oh,
a
yeah.
lack of a better term.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
used to call
They're
the
still
Bear.
Edmonton's house band.
Right.
Their parents used to call the Bear all the time and say, "Please play play Nickelback and stuff." And I remember them coming into the Bear with their new CD, and one of the DJs there being like, "Hey guys, I don't think you're gonna make it." Like,
Who said that?
I'm not gonna name names, but,
no, that's
but
one
yeah.
after.
So it was,
Wow.
but it's the struggle, and I remember, them saying like, "Hey, we were really broke, and we went to the guitar shop on White Avenue and just said, hey, can we get a discount on strings for a guitar?" And like, what? No. And
Yeah.
now it's just like I opened my door and there's 8 new guitars and I could buy like 8,000 of them. I don't
Right.
need them anymore.
Yeah, I was
So
getting free stuff.
It was just sort of that thing about no one was really going out to support and help them right at the beginning.
And where
with
did the
perseverance
instant
and
hate
stuff,
for
so.
Nickelback come from? Where do you think that, like, all of a sudden
They deal with that, but
They do
yeah.
that?
Silver Side Up.
Yeah.
When How You Remind Me, I think that's when it
That
just
because
turned.
it was too popular?
Well,
I think
Chad
so.
said some stuff about he knows how to write the perfect song and
Right.
stuff, and it was a little
Would he
bit
be
more
wrong? I
kind
think he nailed it.
Well, a little derivative in
Yeah.
maybe what they do, but I feel, and they've said this themselves. I don't think you can. There's lots of artists who I think are great artists in their own right. I just don't like their music, and I think that's where Nickelback should fit in. But that How You Remind Me was the most played song in the history of at any point every 8 seconds on some radio station in the world that song was on.
That's wild.
And I think repetition breeds a
Sure.
backlash, and I'm surprised that Taylor Swift hasn't had it, and other
Well,
people that always wait for that sort of like you're on the pedestal only to be
Too
pulled off
much,
of it.
too soon. As
But
they say
also
in
with
Slapshot.
Nickelback, though, it's the Canadian requirements of radio stations. You have to play so much Canadian. So once there's a good Canadian, radio stations will play the hell out of it because they
Yes.
got to meet their Canadian
Can't
requirements.
I
Get it
agree,
in
but
there.
this also
that-
phenomenon was in the United States. So they had no
don't like-
requirement. They were being overplayed in the U.S.
Oh,
I think
okay.
the backlash came a little bit, so both from it, but it was certainly wasn't a Canadian only phenomenon because of CanCon. I think that song just took off into, it was sort of like edgy rock for secretaries, is how it's been described, right? And I think it's sort of
Right.
kind of did it, yeah.
Administrative assistant.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Whoa.
That's back in the day.
Yeah, right.
So yeah,
Corey
Danes
the
then.
Butcher says, "Good morning, guys. Great hangout. I love these guys. They're too funny."
well, you know Corey. We love
Corey the Butcher,
he's
yeah.
awesome.
Acme
Oh,
Meat
Corey
Market.
the Butcher,
Yeah,
yeah.
Acme Meat Market.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I walked in there one time with my kids when my kids were small, and Corey had seen me coming, and he grabbed a pig's head. He
loves-
and put it on, and then came out, and like it was terrifying.
Yeah.
It scared me.
Gents, thanks for coming into the hangout and
thanks
sticking
for
around for
having
2
us.
hours.
We'll
Really
let you-
appreciate it. GoHawks.ca if you want more information on the Riverhawks. And are you guys going to break whether you're there 2025 or for what?
Hashtag caca. Are we gonna break for are we gonna be there?
Break
next
the
year?
news that you're going to be there next year?
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we honestly don't know if we're gonna be
So
there
Steve
next
sends
year.
you here, but you don't know.
Steve
Yeah.
never like we don't work on like a contract. Like
Yeah.
honestly, like it's basically Steve's like, "Hey fellas, I'll see you Tuesday." Like that.
And we're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like the season opener. We're
Yeah,
like,
season opener, guys. Right? You know what I mean?
what?
There's no official agreement between us. Like if Steve doesn't call me to say I'll see you Thursday, I just assume I've been fired. That's how we work. So
Great work with what you guys do at the
Thanks,
Riverhawks,
same.
honestly.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Great,
It is,
great.
our pleasure.
You do
We love
make it
it.
amazing.
We love
Yes. There's a lot of all year. We just keep hearing Riverhawks. Great atmosphere, great
Yeah.
time.
Awesome.
They have a
Yes.
good time at all times, and it's not even the baseball. So
Yep.
the two of you are big parts of that.
Oh,
thank you.
Donovan Workun, Graham Neil, not of NAIT, but of
the
no, I'm
Riverhawks.
at Nate. Not of RTA. Not in RTA. I'm at Nate. Though. But yeah,
that is okay. Yeah,
yeah, that's okay. It's been
And
a
you
long
didn't say
time.
where I'm from.
Atomic Improv.
Whatever.
How could they get more information on that?
AtomicImprov.com.
Website made by Nate students
Yeah,
in my department.
that's right.
Seriously.
Terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's good.
No, it's good.
I think it's good. Yeah.
All right. Joking.
Coming up next here on Edmonton Sports Talk, we got the Lock Shop with Dusty and Huss. And then at noon, Oil Stream, Tom Gazzola with Dustin Nielsen to talk about that Swedish-Croatian player. They're going to go.
I don't know. It's not fair that you locked us in here. I wanted to leave an hour ago.
I said go.
I know.
And I tried, and the door's locked.
We tried to get the guy from the Mexican resort to take it out the hinges again.
it would.
So, yeah.
We have a Tommy, Graham, Donovan, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout Lock Shop coming up next year on Edmonton Sports Talk. Their choice for Edmonton Sports. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.